Rams football from WMIX Sports. Rams football on WMIX and WMIXSports.com is powered by Community First Bank of the Heartland. Welcome back to Personal Banking. Mount Vernon Rams football is also presented in part by Buffalo Wild Wings, Red Lake College, One Stop Flooring America in Mount Vernon, State Farm Insurance Agent Tony Wilt, like a good neighbor. State Farm is there. Joe's Pizza of Mount Vernon, First Mid-Illinois Bank and Trust, Schmidt Chevrolet Cadillac of Mount Vernon, and also by Banterra Bank, banking with local style. The Orthopedic Center of Southern Illinois, Landers Collision Centers of Mount Vernon and Salem. Big or small, Landers fixes them all. Schmidt Ford of Salem, Ford Square in King City Chrysler, and People's National Bank. We take you to the Buffalo Wild Wings broadcast booth for the Landers Collision Center's pregame show. Mount Vernon Rams football starts now.
From Urbana tonight, the Mount Vernon Rams are on the road, but a neutral site affair against the Woodstock Blue Streaks. It's a pleasure to be here with you and a very pleasant good evening. I'm Chris Hugo. Chad Baker is alongside in the Buffalo Wild Wings broadcast booth tonight for this Landers Collision Center's pregame show. Big or small, Landers fixes them all. Call 1-888-LANDERS. That's 1-888-LANDERS. Tonight, the Rams face a 1-0 team from Woodstock. They are the Woodstock Blue Streaks. They have a win over a team from Gary, Indiana. We'll talk more about that coming up on this Landers Collision Center's pregame show. We'll also talk about your Mount Vernon Rams, a team that last week looked very improved over a year ago. And I know I said it on the Saturday Sports Show this morning, well, two different teams. However, the Rams looked very good at times last Friday. They did lose 42-6 to the Taylorville Tornadoes, but had a bad second quarter. In the second quarter, we're giving up one big play is what set up a scoring play, whether it was a turnover, whether it was a punt, whatever it may have been, an improved Rams team from a year ago. Chad Baker, you know better than anybody from your years of having covered football as well that sometimes all it takes is a big play to turn a game around. That's what happened to the Rams last week, but fresh slate here in week number 2, a team they've never seen before, a team neither of these teams going to be that familiar with one another, maybe a chance for Coach Mark Goodhart to get his first win as Mount Vernon Rams football coach.
Oh, exactly, Chris. And obviously, with a neutral site location here, just some things that we noticed right offhand here at Urbana's McKinley Field just minutes before kickoff is that Mount Vernon's been out there already warming up, practicing for about 30 to 40 minutes, and Woodstock just entered the field of play here about 10 minutes ago and are still working on just some light stretching here. Don't know whether or not they had a walkthrough earlier today. Both of these teams with the neutral site location having to travel a good distance across the state. Woodstock from the northwest suburbs of Chicago, Mount Vernon from downstate. Obviously, the travel plays into this a little bit here, but preparation is key. And it sounds cliche, the first couple of weeks of the year, you're going to still have the mistakes. You're going to have a lot of penalties. You're going to have some guys that may not necessarily know their routes all the way yet because you're still ironing some things out. And so we're going to see some things tonight that are going to be probably out of characteristic what we may see Mount Vernon run here week 4, week 5, week 6 of the season. We may see some very interesting things that may work, that may not work, but that's the joy of high school football is that you really have 3 seasons within the season. You have the first 3 games, which you're trying to work things out. You got the middle 3 games whenever you got things clicking, you're putting it all together, and you're really trying to get something going. And then the last 3, which a lot of times you're really playing for your playoff lives at that point in time if you're still in it, or you're being able to try to figure out what you can do to try to better that for the next season.
No doubt about it. Of course, this will be the second game of the year for both of these two teams. The Mount Vernon Rams are the home team, believe it or not, in terms of dress. They are in their home blacks tonight. Woodstock is in their away white. We'll tell you more about the dress and we'll have a conversation about all of it coming up here on this Landers Collision Center's pregame show, just as we had a conversation with Mark Goodhart this morning. We previewed this game for the Saturday Sports Show this morning. We'll have that coming up after a quick break. This is Rams football powered by Community First Bank.
At Community First Bank. For well over a decade, we've been the official home of true community banking in and around Jefferson County. And beyond simply supplying traditional banking services, lending solutions, and supporting our local charities and organizations, we take the most pride in calling ourselves good neighbors. Above all, that's what matters most, Community First. It's not our name, it's our belief. Community First Bank, local matters, member FDIC.
Learn about dozens of colleges and universities at the Illinois Regional College Fair hosted by Red Lake College on Tuesday, September 19th from 9 until 11. It's free to students and parents. Visit the RLC Gymnasium to ask questions of more than 30 regional schools. Learn about financial aid, scholarships, transferring, how to pick a major, and much more. Take the next step at the Illinois Regional College Fair on Tuesday, September 19th from 9 to 11 at Red Lake College. Red Lake College, your journey starts here.
This is Mount Vernon Rams football, powered by Community First Bank of the Heartland.
Welcome back to your Landers Collision Center's pregame show on AM 940, 96.5 FM, and WMIX Sports.com. Here we are, the Mount Vernon Rams and Woodstock Blue Streaks, coming up in just a matter of moments. Earlier today, we sat down with Rams football coach Mark Goodhart. We talked about tonight. We previewed what we could about this Blue Streaks team coming in 1-0. Rams, of course, the tough loss last week, 42-6 to Taylorville. We talked about that at length last week on the Saturday Sports Show. You can find that archive at WMIXSports.com. But here we are. Mark Goodhart this morning, Saturday Sports Show. Here it is. Goody, good morning.
Good morning.
You know what? Woodstock Blue Streaks, obviously, if you're looking at the schedule coming up maybe a couple of years ago, maybe not a team you expect to see on the schedule in week 2, but that's who the Rams have tonight. Thankfully, I think for everybody involved, meeting halfway at Urbana, which is a very, very nice facility. So you get to meet halfway against a very good Woodstock team that is coming in 1-0. They beat a Gary West, I think it was, last week, 41-6. So they're coming in 1-0, but a chance for these two teams to meet halfway and a chance for both teams to get to play in a great facility.
Yeah, Urbana High School has allowed us to play at their facility. You know, I believe the colors are orange and black, so maybe that's a little indicative of what the outcome may be, I hope. So it should be a good night. The temperature's definitely cooled off, so great football weather. And so we'll travel north a couple hours and play a game.
Well, it'll feel like hopefully a football atmosphere. Hopefully a large Mount Vernon contingent will make the drive up and get to see a nice facility, but get to feel football weather. It's going to be a little cooler tonight, of course, with the lack of hills in the terrain up there in Urbana, flatland. We could feel a little cooler than what it normally might be, but that's football weather, or at least a little bit closer to it tonight.
Yes, it's definitely welcome. Those hot days of August and early September, this is definitely a plus.
Of course, now we are 8 days removed from the game against Taylorville. We talked about it at length last week, but Woodstock Blue Streaks tonight. I know we've had a little bit of time to find out more about Woodstock. What do we know about the Blue Streaks coming in?
Blue Streaks. All right,
it's contagious.
Blue Streaks are kind of, it's a suburb of Chicago. I believe there's 2 high schools in the town. They've had a pretty good football club in years past, and I know that they play some pretty good teams. Thompson, don't know much about the head coach. His history. That's why I try to go back and see what coaches have done in the past. Don't know much about them other than the films I had last year and then this year. They're they're a power football club. The films I have, it's an 80-20, run the ball 80% of the time and pass 20. So we're going to see a good dose of power tonight, 2-3 backs, and they like to get after it. They like to run the edges if they can, but they can definitely spread it out if they need to.
Well, it looked like a team, and all I could do is read some results, and it looked like a team that even though I think they pulled their starters at the half because they were up pretty significantly, I think had a running clock at halftime. But a case where for them, I think a triple threat backfield where a couple of guys, in limited carries, each ran for about 50 yards. And had they played a full game, you assume maybe get about 300 yards between the 3 on the ground. So a case where I'm not sure if they run between the tackles or what they do, but a case where for the Rams tonight, maybe not as much of an air attack, but who knows, because we didn't get to see much of what they do for a full game. So it'll be interesting to see what this team features tonight.
Right. Now, number 3, kind of what I heard, we use a huddle program to scout these days, no longer traveling long distances, exchanging VHS tapes. We do it digitally on a program called Huddle, and sometimes there's sound, at the game. And I kept hearing about a number 6 and a number 34, Sean Doyle and Jonathan Simpson. Simpson's 206, 6 foot, and Doyle 6'1", 215. So if those cats are running the ball in between the tackles, our front four and our linebackers, you've got to be ready to fill those windows, and it may be a long night if you're not ready. As most coaches do, if you're successful at pounding that ball, that's what you're going to get, every single play. So, I'm anxious to get this game rolling. I think we're evenly matched, even though the scores may not be indicative of that. But I think just with the players that we have, I think both clubs are hard-nosed and just ready to get this game going.
No doubt. I know you have a group of guys ready to get this game going as well. They've had a bit of a layoff with the extra off day, not playing last night. So how is the health of the Rams coming into tonight's game?
We have a couple bumps and bruises. We have a couple injuries and illnesses that have got some kids out this week. But all in all, we've got a couple linemen that started last week that came down with a bug. So we'll see by game time what happens there. But all in all, last week we had to start a freshman as a free safety, and Evan will continue with that role until somebody can take that from him. But Evan Leake, freshman free safety, he's good to have on your team. I'm glad we have him.
No doubt about that. One thing I'm glad we have to break up the monotony sometimes, because nothing wrong with talking about football, but it's nice to go a little off topic. So our final question, I know it's a busy day, is our social media question of the week. And, no longer are we necessarily required to use the same old alarm clock that maybe we had decades ago. New devices allow us to change up the sounds that wake us up on a daily basis. If you could only wake up to one sound or song, what would it be?
Well, hey, that's a hot topic at my house, because it does not matter what sound I have on my alarm clock. It's usually my wife kicking me in the ribs to turn the damn thing off. So, the sound I hear is my wife at me. Turn that thing off.
I love it. I love it. Coach, I'm looking very forward to tonight. I know it's a long road trip, but I think it'll be fun, get to play in a different environment, and should have some football weather, at least close to it. Not necessarily football weather, but it should be fun tonight.
Hey, thanks, Chris. You guys have a beautiful day. Go Rams.
Go Rams. So the Rams tonight, Woodstock Blue Streaks. Coming up in just a few moments. We'll have more Landers Collision Center's pregame coming up. Big or small, Landers fixes them all. Call 1-888-LANDERS, 1-888-LANDERS. More to come from your Buffalo Wild Wings broadcast booth. First, we need to take a quick break. This is Rams football from WMIX Sports.
Legence Bank would like to wish all the local Southern Illinois teams and coaches much success in the 2017-2018 academic year. Legence Bank proudly supports you on and off the field. Legence Bank, member FDIC, building stronger communities in Southern Illinois since 1906. That's Legence Bank.
Hey, Pete, how's life with your 3-year-old?
She's got a lot of questions.
Why? I see what you mean. And I bet you have questions about life insurance.
Why?
Well, because you need to protect your family.
Why?
An Allstate agent can give you simple answers about life insurance. Plus, when you apply, you'll get a free biometric wellness report with recommendations for leading a happier, healthier life.
Why? That sounds great.
It's good to be in good hands.
Ask Mount Vernon Allstate agent Paul Shields about life insurance today.
If you could get rewarded for sleeping, would you? Or for sitting in a comfy chair watching football on TV? That dream job is real thanks to Buffalo Wild Wings. You can come in, watch football, and earn points with Blazing Rewards just for being there. Buffalo Wild Wings. Wings, beer, sports.
Terms and conditions apply. Must be a Blazing Rewards member. To join and for details, visit blazingrewards.com or download the Blazing Rewards app.
Buffalo Wild Wings in Mount Vernon, located right off the interstate on Potomac Boulevard.
Streaming worldwide at WMIXSports.com. This is Mount Vernon Rams football from WMIX Sports.
AM 940, 96.5 FM, and WMIXSports.com. Tonight, the Mount Vernon Rams here in Urbana as they battle the Woodstock Blue Streaks out of the Kishwaukee conference.
Close enough.
I can't say it. I asked 3 different people before the game that looked like they might be from up north, and I got 3 different pronunciations. And those were just people I knew from up north. There wasn't anybody actually here from Woodstock.
Took a while to get here, didn't it?
Yeah, but it's a case of obviously a team, not a lot of familiarity between these 2 programs, obviously. Just a 1-year deal. They met halfway, or as close to halfway as they possibly could. So this is just a one-shot deal, neutral site thing. Each team obviously loses a home game this year. Rams will be the home team. They're providing the PA, all of that tonight. So a case of where for both of these teams, they get to play at a gorgeous facility. Make no mistake about it, McKinley Field here at Urbana High School. A wonderful facility. They have turf that I believe they just put in a few years ago, not all that long ago, and a rustic high school, and I feel like they've done this facility well. The soccer field, which is a multi-purpose field, also a practice football field behind us, and in fact we're in a press box right now in the Buffalo Wild Wings broadcast booth that serves dual purpose. If we wanted to, we could flip around and broadcast a fictitious game behind us, because we could just simply turn, spin, and take a look, and they certainly made this a great facility.
And of course, we'd be remiss if we didn't mention the Urbana Aquatic Center, right here on the campus of Urbana High School. It's like I said, you take a look across the way, you see where this school started, just a very quaint 3-story building, possibly with a basement in there, and then you just see, you look at the facility as it goes across towards the east of the campus, just adding on, and of course, the Urbana now through the years, this is the public school. They've got a private school here in University High. They have, of course, Champaign right next to us, which has the 2 public schools, a couple of private schools up here. And so, there is a lot of educational opportunities for the youth in the Champaign-Urbana area here. And but, for those that are Tiger proud, they've put their stake in this community here, and that put that back into the education here at the Urbana High School. And they've been here. They're obviously off tonight. They played last night. Another team that wore orange today, just down Vine Street and across on Florida Avenue, had a little tough time with Ball State today, but they got the win. So we're hoping that tonight we can make a clean sweep for those that wear orange loud and proud here this evening on a school with very similar colors.
Well, and I know that was one of the things that Mark Goodhart the past couple of weeks on the Saturday Sports Show talked about, is the fact that their colors here at Urbana are orange and black, and a case of where the Rams could come up, be the home team, and maybe make it feel like a home atmosphere. And it's a great facility. We've obviously said that at length, but for the Rams, going to have to find a way to get a win at some point this season. You'd love for it to be tonight, and at times last week, Chad, I know you weren't there, but a case where for this team, obviously they started to put some things together and actually made a couple of big plays of their own. And I just happened to see what I thought was the greatest high school catch I've ever personally witnessed in any of the games I broadcast last week by a mere span. So it set up their score, their only score of the game in the fourth quarter. But for the Rams, third quarter, first quarter, both brilliant defensively. Broke a few times in the second quarter. That's where the bulk of the offense came for Taylorville last week. A Taylorville team that got roughed up by Effingham last night, by the way, as Effingham we talked about on the way up hung 50. You can find that on last night's WMIXSports.com scoreboard, sponsored by Tony Wilt State Farm, by the way. But a case where Taylorville now 1-1, so this Ram team, they'd like to be 1-1 here tonight too, I know. But this is a balanced offense we're getting ready to see here from Woodstock. Their quarterback, of course, Tanner Heidke, didn't get a lot of opportunities to throw the football last week. Woodstock was actually up 42-nothing at the half, so most of their starters came out. But a very balanced offense is what we're going to see tonight, not only from the prep that we researched, but also from what we're seeing in the reps being taken here on the field.
Heidke very accurate last week and was able to run the ball effectively. Went 6 for 6 passing. I believe their backup quarterback, which is I'm having trouble finding him on the sheet here. I believe it may have been Anderson Jr., but I'm not entirely sure. But he went 3 for 3 in mop-up duty. Obviously, they played a Gary West team out of Indiana. We don't know much about. It's like I said earlier, first 3 weeks of the season, you're playing some out-of-conference foes. It could really be a crapshoot out there. You really don't know what to expect. We faced Taylorville last week. Taylorville gets beat this week by an Effingham team that had trouble with Mater Dei last week. All those teams have been valied about as far as rankings and have aspirations of their own. So you kind of throw that behind you in the past and you start looking forward to week 2, and this is our week 2 opportunity to be able to put a win on the board.
It is. It looks like we're going to have the national anthem here tonight from Urbana. The Woodstock Blue Streaks and the Mount Vernon Rams about to do battle here tonight. We'll take a break. We'll come back. This is your Landers Collision Center's pregame show on Mount Vernon Rams football, powered by Community First Bank.
Football season, People's National Bank now has a great CD special for you. Score big with our 18-month CD at 1.30% APY. Come in today to take advantage of this limited time offer. Stop by any People's National Bank location and open an 18-month CD at 1.30% APY today. People's National Bank, proudly serving Southern Illinois since 1909. Member FDIC. Annual percentage yield accurate as of August 16, 2017. $500 to open and obtain APY.
According to FoxBusiness.com, automobile insurance providers estimate that on average, a person will experience 3 to 4 auto collisions in a lifetime. So the big question is, how do you know where to bring your vehicle after you've been in an accident? This is Chase Landers from Landers Towing and Collision Centers in Mount Vernon and Salem. It's easy for me to say that Landers is where you should always consider anytime you suffer damage to your vehicle. And here's why. Not only do we offer limited lifetime warranty on all repairs and refinishes, but we also complete the repairs using the highest quality refinish products the market has to offer. Landers is also a direct repair facility for most insurance carriers, and in many cases provide a courtesy vehicle or easier access to a rental. We understand what it's like to be in a bind. If unfortunate circumstances fall upon you, we offer prompt RV collision repair services, towing, and heavy-duty towing and collision as well. That's why we feel comfortable saying we're the best. So come see the professionals in Mount Vernon and Salem, or feel free to look us up at landersauto.com. Big or small, Landers fixes them all. Call 1-888-LANDERS. That's 1-888-LANDERS.
Follow us on social media at WMIX Sports. This is Mount Vernon Rams football.
Somebody lied about the national anthem, and that was this guy right here. I'm Chris Hugo, Chad Baker alongside from the Buffalo Wild Wings broadcast booth on this Landers Collision Center's pregame show. Crank us up on AM 940, 96.5 FM, or log on to watch live at WMIXsports.com. It's going to be a beautiful night here in Urbana. The sun has slowly set to our left. I'm directionally challenged, but thankfully I always know the sun sets in the west, so that pretty well helps me out there. But a case where, and I've relying heavily on a case where tonight, but for these Rams tonight, it's going to be a beautiful night for high school football, an opportunity to play on some great turf, a great facility, and play a great team. And I think right now, with depth being an issue numbers-wise for this Mount Vernon team, you really hope, obviously, some health issues, some illnesses that they battled throughout the week, that the numbers are here, the numbers will be able to go all 4 quarters and really stand up strong against a Woodstock team that you can tell by looking down there. They have a little bit more beef, they have a little bit more height, and a Woodstock team that may pose some problems tonight, but as long as the Rams can stay healthy and stay energetic, right now, no reason not to think this is going to be a close game.
Both coaches still very early in their tenure. Coach Goodhart, we all know about, still looking for that first win here as Rams coach. Tommy Thompson across the way, he's 7-12. He's in his 3rd season as coach. This is a once-proud program. This school of Woodstock Blue Streaks have won 2 state championships, one in 1983, one in 1997. Fallen on lean times in recent years. Here's the stat of the night here in pregame that we all really want to take away that maybe probably makes us feel a little bit better coming out of the gate. Both these programs since 2010 have 16 wins. So, I mean, we look across the way, we may see a little bit bigger team. We may see a team that maybe has it a little bit further together or maybe a little bit further along in their rebuilding of their program. But in the end here, recent history dictates that this is a team that matches up very well with us here. They've had to travel a long way, and they have this unorthodox way of coming out and getting warmed up. They're just now heading over to their sidelines. They haven't even went back to their locker room. So you got to wonder how that's going to play into the early going here. If we can start getting up the field here a little bit early on, set the tempo of the game in our favor, then we may be able to get that lead early on, and who knows what happens after that.
Well, and really, you know, we made a proper analysis off air about, well, is this going to be a Cahokia type where they come off the bus and are ready to go? And that's really what we thought, because they did not come out until about 15 minutes maybe left on the clock, I believe, somewhere around there. You had said a moment ago.
We were getting ready to go on air.
Yeah,
right.
and so finally they came out and they were taking their reps and getting ready to go. Now we have that anthem here from Urbana. We'll pause to honor that. We'll come back. We'll have kickoff. This is Rams football from WMIX Sports.
Here's Jeff Schmidt for Schmidt Chevrolet Cadillac of Mount Vernon.
Our service department is second to none at Schmidt Chevrolet Cadillac. We really work hard to treat you right in service. We've got a drive-in service lane that people just love. You stay out of the weather. We've also got a shuttle service that'll take you anywhere in the Mount Vernon area. So come on into Schmidt Chevrolet Cadillac. We don't care where you bought your car, but we would love to service it for you at Schmidt Chevrolet Cadillac.
Schmidt Chevrolet Cadillac of Mount Vernon, 3423 Broadway in Mount Vernon.
When it comes to banking, Banterra is the change you want to make. I'm Jeff Speed, Market Executive for Banterra, and you should know that our top priority is personal service. It's why Banterra is the region's largest locally owned community bank. We offer convenient online and mobile banking, mobile check deposit, online mortgage services, and have 25 Southern Illinois branches to serve you. Banterra Bank, proud supporter of Southern Illinois high school sports. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Joe's Pizza in Mount Vernon delivers and caters. Call 242-2600 or stop in and dine at 819 Jordan. The Trupiano family's secret recipes are known throughout Southern Illinois. Check out the daily pasta and pizza specials, family pizza specials, and every Thursday night, it's all-you-can-eat spaghetti night. Joe's also has great sandwiches, salads, desserts, and they cater. Joe's Pizza, 819 Jordan in Mount Vernon. Online at orderjoes.com or call 242-2600.
Your home for the Mount Vernon Rams is WMIX Sports, powered by Community First Bank.
AM 940, 96.5 FM, and WMIXsports.com tonight for Mount Vernon Rams football. Glad to be here with you from Urbana in the Buffalo Wild Wings broadcast booth. I'm Chris Hugo, Chad Baker alongside Hunter Schrader with us here in Urbana. Back at the Mount Vernon studio, Grant Smith, Avery Barton, your WMIX Sports team tonight. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at WMIX Sports. Don't forget, we'll have a scoreboard later tonight. Actually, there's one already up on WMIXsports.com. Full results from the Carbondale Volleyball Preview Tournament featuring the Lady Rams, working to get the Granite City Invitational featuring the Rams and Lady Rams cross-country teams in there. And we will go from there. Some football stuff. Mount Vernon Rams soccer got a 2-1 win today over to Topless. Of course, that scoreboard and the scoreboard you just heard, sponsored by Tony Wilcher, State Farm agent of Mount Vernon. Find him online at TonyWilt.com or look for the white State Farm Jeep around town. See how you can get to a better state with State Farm. Rams have to get to a better state with a win here tonight. Not a have to, but you feel much better about the early start of the season if you could. They will have the football first, marching right to left. Home black uniforms, white numerics trimmed in orange, orange striping down the sleeves, matte black helmets with the MV logo, I believe, on both sides as we await the kickoff here. It'll come eventually, we do know that. Kicking off will be Caleb Warmbler, 5'10", 185 pounds, class of 2019. I believe that's a junior. I don't even know what year it is. Yeah, that's a junior, class of 2019.
Gotta love teams that put the
I've never been a fan.
Years on there, making do a little guesswork ahead of time.
See, I remember, I guess the seniors are class of 2018 now, and 19's a junior, 20's a sophomore, of which I do not see any on the Woodstock roster. So some numbers in the program. Ball will be caught at about the 7-yard line. Return will come up the middle for Isaiah Dameron. Gets past the 30, between the hashes, down to about the 34. And that's where the Ranch will have the football to start. We are 6 seconds in, scoreless so far as we are just underway from Urbana High School. Nothing ball game. 11:54 to go on the clock. It'll be 1st and 10. Ball is on the Mount Vernon 33-yard line. Again, they are moving right to left here in this first quarter. Quarterback for the Rams is number 4, Nick Malone, another year older. Try to introduce you to parts of the line coming up a little bit later tonight. Neglected to do that last week. Split to the left side will be Isaiah Dameron. David Maxwell, number 3, is into the lineup. Split to the right in place of Amir Span. A man in the right slot, a couple of backs in the backfield out of the pistol set for Nick Malone. Looking for the easy handoff, and that's going to be flushed out right away at the 30. A loss of 3 on the ball carrier. Cade Scarborough getting an early carry here. So some adjustments already to the Ram lineup tonight. It'll be a loss of 3 on the first carry of the night. Brings up 2nd and 13 for the Rams here with 11:35 to go here in the first quarter. Rams and Woodstock. Good to see Doug Creel, Rams athletic director, here tonight. Made this happen. What a beautiful facility. It'd be nice to have something like this in every community in the state. 11:20 to play here. We are in the first quarter. Scoreless ball game. Man in motion is Rutherford. High snap and something out of nothing. Maybe. Nope, Malone can't get back to the line of scrimmage. A loss of 1 as it's to the 29. A high snap with a man in motion going left to right on the movement. 11-minute mark here of the first quarter. Still scoreless. And the Rams stalling early as it's going to be 3rd and 14 now Scoreless to start. All of the action sponsored by Community First Bank of the Heartland in Mount Vernon, Dix, Woodlawn, and Ina. Local matters at Community First Bank. It's not just their name, it's their reputation. They are putting the community first. So 3rd and 14, 3 to the left, 1 to the right, single back pistol set here for Nick Malone. Waiting for the snap. There it is. A little high again, a little touch high as he is looking downfield for the heave. He has Dameron wide open, right out there at the 40. Now down to the 30, 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown. That is a 71-yard touchdown pass. Nick Malone to Isaiah Dameron, and the Rams get on the board first with a 6-0 lead. Boy, howdy.
Dameron just split the defensive backs there and got a good 10 to 15 yards ahead of them by the time the ball was in his hands. And after that, it was a track race, Chris.
What a play. 79-yard TD by Dameron. Caught him in stride, no less. That was a heave downfield left side. Just a lob through the air. It did have some oomph to it, but, man, it ends up as a touchdown, and right away the Rams are on the board first by a score of 6-0. And now Fitzgerald's on for the point after. He kicks a spiral through the uprights, ladies and gentlemen, and right now it's 7-0 Rams. Well, there we go. Rams get on the board first, and, Chad, that's huge for this team. A team that struggled to not only score last week, they get on the board first against a bigger team. And just happened to sneak behind the secondary, did Isaiah Dameron, split the defenders on his way down the route, and ends up with a 7-0 lead to show for it. Not too shabby.
Well, I think we exposed something there, and in the sense that, Woodstock, once again, we can't say it enough, and we'll probably wear it out tonight, that Woodstock didn't have that little bit of rest there right before coming out of the locker room, because they didn't go to the locker room. They came out kind of unorthodox from what we see downstate anyway. It may be commonplace up north, but they came out with about a half hour before game time, started their warm-ups, and just stayed out on the field, thinking that maybe that by doing that they'll stay warm and stay fresh out there. But even the intensity of the warm-ups, it seemed like Mount Vernon was really into this. It seemed like more than anything, Woodstock was just doing a walkthrough. Now we'll see how they respond on offense, because that could be a totally different game. We've seen how much they scored last week. Obviously, Mount Vernon's defense has got to be able to put up a fight here in the early going.
No doubt about that, and we will see. Fitzgerald's on to kick off for the Rams. He and the Rams soccer team got a 2-1 win today over Tosopolis. 10:26 left to go in the first. The Rams with a 7-0 lead, their first lead of the season. And it comes in the first quarter of Game 2. The kick will be off to the left side, and that's going to end up in the end zone. The thing that I've noticed already about Jeremiah Fitzgerald is that he just, for whatever reason, is able to put a nice spiral on the football as he kicks it. And that just wreaked havoc with the would-be returner for Woodstock. Just couldn't find an angle to take to try to get there and actually corral it. Let it go, and it'll be a touchback, 1st and 10 for the Blue Streaks. Here in the first quarter, 10:24 left.
You don't see many good feet in high school football nowadays, and obviously Fitzgerald's one of the best I've seen in recent years, being able to get downfield, and you don't see too many touchbacks either. And obviously we're gonna see a few of those this year.
We definitely will, and we'll get our first look at number 9, Tanner Heidke, the quarterback here for the Woodstock Blue Streaks, and he will take the snap, looking for the quick handoff, come to the near side, and that's going to be, I believe, the fullback, Sean Doyle, number 34 on the carry. We'll confirm that here, as he did not get much beyond the 20. Great job by the Rams defense up front with good secondary coverage coming in. And I really thought that was number 34 Doyle on the carry, and I believe that's going to be a no gain.
You're right on that.
Oh, gain of 2. Kind spot. It'll be to the 22-yard line. So forward progress gave him a gain of 2. 9:57 mark of the first quarter. 7-0 Rams on top. Here's the snap and a little handoff coming left side on a bit of a sweep left, and that was David Shinher on the carry that time. Up the left side, trying to see exactly where he went. I thought he was stopped for a loss.
I think he's back at the original line of scrimmage there.
So that'll bring up 3rd and 10, and the Rams defense playing very well to start here on this first drive that they're seeing. 9:32 mark here in the first quarter. 7-0 Rams on top. We'll look for our Ram of the Week this week. A Good Hands Ram of the Week sponsored by Allstate agent Paul Shields. We'll talk about him throughout the night, but one of our 3 stars of the game coming up in our post-game show could just be your Ram of the Week. Your Good Hands Ram of the Week sponsored by Paul Shields, Allstate agent. Quick play here out in the flat. The completion already. Shinher up this right side. He'll be pushed out of bounds at about the 40. So there, as we talk about the Rams defense coming up big, they do allow a little bit of a play there, and they are going to spot that right at the 40-yard line. So a gain of 20 on the toss to David Shinher, the running back turned wide receiver, and a case where he makes it a first down throw. Trying to look at the scoreboard here. View partially obstructed. It'll be on the 40-yard line. 9:06 to play here in the first. 7-zip ball game. Rams are on top and trying to keep it that way. Single back set. Doyle, the feature back here, will have a man in motion for Woodstock, and it's going to be on the option, the left side. It'll be Doyle. He makes a nice run on a sweep to the far hash, getting to near midfield. Gain of about 9 by number 34, Sean Doyle, out of the shotgun play. And now dancing with first down yardage again. Second and short here for the Blue Streaks with a 7-0 Ram lead.
Fresh legs coming in for the Rams there. Number 70 coming in on the interior line on the defense, Tyrese Owens.
Owens checking in for number 77, Tajay Gibson. 8:21 left in the first. 7-0 is the Ram lead. Shotgun set, 3 right, 1 left are the receivers here for Heitke, the quarterback from Woodstock. Going to keep it himself this time. Going up the right side, breaks the defender, trying to get to midfield. He's near the near sideline. Past the Mount Vernon 45, looks like down to the 43-yard line. That'll be a gain of about 7 if that's the spot. Enough for first down yardage. That's a kind spot to the 42. 8:02 to go. We're in the opening quarter from Urbana, the kind host of this game, allowing the Rams and the Blue Streaks to play on their turf. Of course, literally turf. It's not going to hurt anything to have this extra game on it tonight, so appreciate their hospitality. 7-0 Rams, but the Blue Streaks threatening here. They're in Ram territory on the 42. Ball in the near hash. Quick handoff coming right up the gut. New ball carrier this time is Aiden Jacobs, number 5, as he gets down to about the 36 for a gain of about 6. Nope. They're going to give about 5. So second 5 as he cuts it in half. 7:28 left to go in the first. So various ball carriers tonight now for the Blue Streaks. And we didn't quite know. They had a balanced run attack last week, but again, when you're only seeing a half of football and you're only seeing stats for pretty well one half, you don't know necessarily if that's a game plan. Well, it appears to be the game plan here tonight. Under center to the quarterback. Quick pitch to the left side now, and tripped up again is number 5, Aiden Jacobs. Looks like he got maybe a yard on it. We'll see where they spot it. They're going to give him a gain of a yard, so it'll bring up 3rd and 4 here. A third down play could be big. Rams have been susceptible to a big play once in a while here already in 2017. We'll see if they can come up big on third down here.
3rd and 4, you got to be prepared for anything coming at you.
1 to the right, 1 to the left. Man in motion, left to right, will be number 20 here, David Shinher. And now, rolling to the right side, the pass floats one over the top, and that one was almost picked off. Almost picked off out of the secondary by Cade Scarborough, but he did something better than that in the end, is by not being able to catch it, he batted it down to bring up 4th down, 6:29 left to go in the first. And it will be 4th and 4 from the 36. Not sure of the range of Wombler, but, I mean, you're looking at 60-something yards there. Actually, it'd be 53, and they're going to go for it here on 4th and 4 from the Ram 36. Tucked inside that far hash. Back to pass, 2-step drop, looking for the slant play, and that one's going to be deflected. It was intended for number 80, Andrew Adams, nearly deflected to the other receiver, the other target, number 44, Dylan Grisola. But the Rams able to bat it away in the secondary, and a turnover on downs gives the Rams the ball back.
Big stop there by the Rams defense, and obviously that's got to feel good for those guys down there. Gives them something to build on. Now they'll go to the sidelines, let the offense do some work here. If they can get up by 2 scores, that gives them a little bit of breathing room there and allows the Rams defense to maybe kind of relax a little bit here in the early going.
As the Rams take over, 6:24 on the clock here in the first. 7-0 Mount Vernon. Community First Bank of the Heartland is the official voice of the Rams and Lady Rams, and I believe we had somebody flinch or jump off sides. It's going to be a 5-yard penalty on the offside play by Woodstock. So it'll cost them 5 and make it 1st and 5 for the Rams. Ball moves to the 41-yard line. Chris Hugo, Chad Baker alongside. WMIX, WMIXsports.com. Our next Rams broadcast will be Friday night from the new Ken Hunt Stadium as Triad comes calling. They beat Collinsville big last night. I believe 44-7. Man in motion for the Rams. Maxwell, he'll line up in the backfield now. It's an option play for Malone. He's going to roll to the right side. Ooh, a lateral coming up the right side. Maxwell, the ball carrier, down to the 40, looking to get to the 35. What yardage for the Rams that will be? We'll see where they spot the football. He was coming for the 41-yard line. They will spot it at the opposing 35, so that is a gain of about 24 on the ground. Credit would go to Maxwell on that one as he finished off the play. And that was something that Jeff London pointed out last week, Chad, is that wanted to see Nick Malone maybe do a little bit more running with the football. And his wishes certainly have been granted early. 6:04 mark of this first quarter. Ball is on they're going to go ahead and put on 37. But it's 1st and 10 for the Rams regardless. And they will empty out the backfield here, put a man in motion. This will be Rutherford. Little option play here. Running right up the gut, finding an off-tackle play here down to the 30 will be the quarterback Malone. QB keepers a gain of 7. And that will make it 2nd and about 3. 5:40 left to go here in the first quarter. 7-0 Rams on top. And, man, their offense is moving here early.
Couple back-to-back big plays here by the Rams. Moving that Blue Streaks defense back pretty quick.
5:22 to go here. 2nd and 2 for the Rams. Ball on the Woodstock 29, trying to jump off sides. Pitch to the right side will be Rudd. Rashid getting his first carry of the night. He runs into heavy traffic at about the 30. I think lunged forward back to the line of scrimmage. If it is a gain, it'll be a slight gain. They might give him a half yard on the play. Spot is going to be right back at the 29. So a slight gain there for number 1, Rashid Rudd. 4:55 to go here in the opening quarter. Still a 7-0 ball game, but the Rams are eating up some clock here. And that has been huge. They've already eaten up about 2 minutes off of the clock on this drive. 3 left, 2 right, empty backfield for Nick Malone out of the shotgun. Ready to go on 3rd and 2. Has a man in motion, and it's Maxwell again. And they will fumble the snap. It ends up all the way at about the 40. Maxwell will fall on it, but it's going to be a big loss. And what was a promising drive could stumble here for the Rams. It's all the way back to the 39-yard line. It'll be a loss of 10. And the Rams had the right idea, just could not capitalize. And now it'll be 4th and 12, 4:14 mark of the quarter. So at the 39, that'd be a 56-yard try, so obviously going to go for it. Or will they go for a timeout instead and talk it over? Looks like they're going to go for the timeout instead. We keep it here on timeouts. They are sponsored by First Mid-Illinois Bank and Trust. If you're looking for your first checking account with a convenient debit card, stop by First Mid-Illinois Bank and Trust. Learn all about that student checking. Great time for the iPad to refresh, let me tell you that right now. Stop by First Mid at the corner of South 34th and Broadway. Ask about basic student checking. It's an account designed just for students. So there we go. 4:02 mark here. The first quarter, Rams 7, Woodstock nothing. And the Rams struck first at the 10:26 mark with a 79-yard touchdown pass from Nick Malone to Isaiah Dameron, and what a catch that was, as now the Rams with a 7-0 lead after the Fitzgerald's point-after attempt.
I want to thank all the fans coming out tonight. Obviously a good contingent from Mount Vernon coming up, and Woodstock not too shabby on their side either for a Saturday night game. We know a lot of folks, in that rhythm this time of year for college football on Saturday, but the rare Saturday night high school game has some folks coming out.
So now on 4th down, Malone looking to roll to the right side. He's looking downfield. Can they beat him back? It's going to be a lob toward the end zone, just out of the reach of the intended target, looking to hook up with Dameron again. And so that'll be a turnover on downs for the Rams, and Woodstock will take over at the 3:56 mark of the first. Seven nothing Rams. We'll have your Joe's Pizza and Pasta halftime show coming up after the second quarter, but right now, plenty of time in the first quarter. Still plenty of time in the half. 15 minutes and 56 seconds left to be exact.
Still a good job by the Mount Vernon offense to clear some time off the clock, get your defense some good rest here for this next drive.
Took about 2.5 minutes off of the clock, and now there may be a fumble on the play. Looking to go handoff inside, and it's fumbled, and the Rams recover. So that'll be the second Woodstock turnover of the night. And now the Rams take over, up 7-0, it appears.
Defense doing too good of a job, not getting the offense enough rest now. But I have a feeling the offense will take that at this point.
They most certainly will. 3:49 to play here. We are in the first quarter. The Rams take over, so they had all of 7 seconds without that football. And now they have it 1st and 10 from the Woodstock 39. Right to left, the Rams are marching here. The ball is inside the near hash.
Looks like Tajay Gibson out there picking up the fumble on that one.
Double sevens picked it up. Out of the pistol set, looking left. It'll be back into the flat, and the complete to Rudd. Rudd will lean forward as he stumbles at about the line of scrimmage. Gets a gain of about 2 out of all that. It'll bring up 2nd about 8 as Rashid Rudd gets to completion. And now for the Rams, 2nd down, 3:30 left to go here in the first quarter.
And most importantly, keeping that clock going.
Streaming on WMIXsports.com, sponsored by Red Lake College. Save you thousands on your collegiate education. Find out how at rlc.edu. Dameron and Rutherford, your men on the left. Man in motion. Looks like it's Maxwell. Handoff going to go to Rudd. He tries to shake and bake at the right. Finds a seam. Gets past the 1st down marker. Now at about the 25. Inside the 23, it looks like. Could be a gain of about 16 for Rashid Rudd, dependent upon the spot. 3-minute mark of this first quarter, and the Rams moving the football, moving the chains. Another 1st down for Mount Vernon. And right now, this 7-0 lead, again, they are flirting with the red zone here, just outside of it, but almost got there last time. Had a fumble, cost them a possible 1st down. And now, on 1st and 10 from the 22, they're looking 2 to the left, 2 to the right. Pistol set here. Rudd is the back in the backfield for the quarterback, Malone. It'll be a pitch coming left side for Rudd. Did they see something? No, I see a hold. There's a flag on the play, so this one could come back if that's what it is. Rudd got it. For all that running, Rudd got a gain of about 1, but I think there's a hold in the backfield. Yep. If I can see it, you know the officials are going to see it. And so the Rams will be penalized, and this one's going to come back. Not like it was a huge gain to begin with, so it's not like it's negating a huge play, but still another penalty here. Okay, as we have 2:18 left to go here in the first quarter.
Trips left and twins to the right here, Chris. Looking to go downfield.
And now it'll be a run up the left side down to about the 20. This is
the
quarterback Malone. He has a near corner touchdown on the 35-yard run by Nick Malone.
He got a crease open on the near side of the field there, and he exploited it. That speed kicked in about the 20-yard line. And all of a sudden, Mount Vernon building a nice little lead here early on.
They most definitely are. With 1:59 left to go, that'll be a big run. I believe it was 30-something yards for Nick Malone.
He's got 3 rushes for 41 yards here in the early going, and 1 for pay dirt.
And now the point after is good, and the Rams will take a 14-0 lead. How far exactly was that run?
I had for 35 yards.
Nice. So Nick Malone.
Because he was, after the penalty for the holding, he was back at the 35 and got all that back on the run.
He most certainly did. And now it'll be the turn of Woodstock to try to make something happen here.
And I had that drive actually starting. It looks like it was starting on the 39-yard line. So a 4-play, 39-yard drive capped off with the Malone 35-yard run. Fitzgerald's with the extra point, makes it 14-0. Your Mount Vernon Rams.
Rams off to a great start tonight, 14-0 ball game. If you just tuned in, WMIX. Technical issues on WMIXsports.com. The ball will be on a nice kickoff here, and that will be a return coming from Ian Dowdy out of the backfield. Or pardon me, off of the return inside the 10, gets down to about the 25, where it'll be 1st and 10 for the Blue Streaks.
Good pick up there by Dowdy. But the Mount Vernon defense once again back out on the field. Let's see if they can get another stop here. Woodstock not overly dynamic here in the early going on offense. Showing us everything that we've seen so far, though. You got to be able to hunker down on that because they've shown a lot here early on. They could have that for the rest of the game.
They could, and I know that they are looking to make something happen here. That'll be a completion at about the 25, down to the 30 now, trying to cut back at the 35. Number 20, David Shinher, as they took over with 142. That was on the 25. It'll be a nice little gain here for Shinher, the receiver.
Looks like about 8 on the play. Two for 4 passing for Heidke. Both of them to Shinher in the early going for 28 yards. Going back the opposite direction, finds Shinher. Up the field, up the sideline, out of bounds, near midfield, just past midfield. And that's going to move the chains. So from about the 33 all the way up to the 50, so pickup of 17 there.
All right, welcome back, those of you on WMIXsports.com. 14-0 Rams over Woodstock in the first quarter, minute 34 to go. The ball is on midfield at the far hash as Woodstock moves left to right. And now this will be a run right up the gut by the running back, trying to get to about the 45-yard line, meets a wall of Rams. Thought that was Doyle on the carry.
Doyle, yes.
So he'll get a gain of about 4 to bring it 2nd and 6 as we drop below the minute 18 mark of this first quarter. Community First Bank of the Heartland is the official voice of the Rams and Lady Rams here on WMIX. Local matters most. Community First Bank. Community isn't just where they work, it's where they live and raise their families, just like you and I. Community First isn't just their name, it's what they believe. Minute left to go here in the opening quarter. Out of the shotgun set, looking to this left side for the pass. It's quickly completed about the 45, brought down at the 42-yard line. Gain of about 4 will make it 3rd and 2.
Good
that
job
was complete to number 44, Dylan Grisola.
Good job by Evan Leak there, wrapping up right as the receiver got that. You said, well, who was that?
44.
Number 44. That was Grisola kid in. But that's an example of good defense we've been seeing here in the early going for the Rams.
3rd and 1 now for the Blue Streaks. 17 seconds left to go. It'll be an inside handoff here as the Rams almost had to stop, but able to lunge forward for a little extra down to about the 38. Gain of 3 on the carry for number 5, Aiden Jacobs. Clock will stop for the change to move at the 11.1 second mark here in the first quarter. 14-0. This time has expired. So it should be the end of the quarter. There we go. They're pulling them off now. We're at the end of the first quarter here in Urbana. The Mount Vernon Rams 14, the Woodstock Blue Streaks nothing. This is Rams football powered by Community First Bank.
It'd be great if we all had a friend or neighbor you really trusted or to help assist you in managing your money. A helpful hand to look out for your best interests. Well, you do. That's exactly who Community First Bank is. Chances are you've seen us at the ball fields, in church, or right next door. Local Jefferson County residents, from the smiling, helpful tellers all the way to our executive board. We're proud to call Jefferson County home. We're always here to help. Community First Bank, Local Matters, member FDIC.
Have you ever wondered how your homeowner's insurance works? Or whether you have enough coverage to protect you in an auto accident? Or what would happen to your family if you get sick or pass away prematurely? I'm your local State Farm agent, Tony Will. And these are the very questions that we help people with every day. If you don't have the answers to these questions, stop by my office in Mount Vernon. Waiting till a catastrophe happens to learn how your insurance works can be very costly. Don't let that be you. Find us on the web at TonyWilt.com or call us at 242-1421.
Back to the Buffalo Wild Wings broadcast booth. This is Mount Vernon Rams football from WMIX Sports.
AM 940, 96.5 FM, and WMIXsports.com as we start the second quarter here from Urbana. The Mount Vernon Rams lead the Woodstock Blue Streaks by a score of 14-0. Blue Streaks to the football in Mount Vernon territory on the 38, 1st and 10 to start. Quarterback is going to roll to the left side, looking downfield, and that could be PI there. We'll see, and they're battling for the football. Rams claim they have it, and that could be the true freshman. Number 10, Evan Leake, the free safety, coming over to grab that one away from the wideout. And if so, that'll be the third turnover of the night for the Woodstock Blue Streaks.
Coach Goodhart talked it up in the pregame interview, and hey, this kid's the real deal. We've seen it here early on. I think we're going to be able to make a name of Evan Leake before it's said and done.
A little interception there for Lee could make him one of our 3 stars of the game coming up in our post-game show. Streaming at WMIXsports.com, sponsored by Ridley College. Log on to rlc.edu. See why your journey starts at RLC with over 100 degree and certificate programs. So the Rams take over, 1st and 10 from their own 25. Left to right they move. Looks like they're going to empty out the backfield here as Rudd will go out into the slot in motion. They're going to chase after Malone. He's flushed out of the pocket to the left, running left. He's at the 20, gets rid of it, the old heave-ho, and that one was almost grabbed and almost intercepted. That was almost a one-hand grab by Isaiah Dameron, and then almost tipped for an interception. But luckily for the Rams, the secondary couldn't hang on for Woodstock, and they will have 2nd and 10 now with 11:44 to go.
Lots of pressure there on Malone. Played cool under pressure, eluded it. Got the throw downfield across his body. Dameron almost made an acrobatic catch, but right behind him, Danger. Got to wonder whether or not you want to get that throw down a little bit. If you're in a situation where cooler heads are prevailing at that point.
Ball on the 25-yard line, 2nd and 10, near hash spot. Pistol set here for the Rams, 3 to the left and 1 to the right. Malone ready to go, calls for it. He's going to do a little bit of a pitch here to Rutt. Going up that left side, finds a seam. Breaks to about the 30, down to about the 33 maybe. Gain of about 8 from my eyes. Depends on the spot, however. It'll be 3rd down and short with 11:30 to go here in the first half.
Looks like an official pickup of 7 there.
Straight up top of the hour, this is WMIX Mount Vernon, a free service from Withers Broadcasting. Glad to have all of you who may be tuned in back home or maybe watching us online at WMIXsports.com. We're in your Buffalo Wild Wings broadcast booth. Always a place to go for wings, beer, sports. Potomac Boulevard in Mount Vernon, Buffalo Wild Wings. Almost had him flinching there on 3rd and 3. And now it'll be an option play. It's the option for the quarterback. Gets to the 35. Malone, a nice move at about the 36 to the 40, 45. Midfield's where he's brought down, and that'll be a gain of 18 on the scamper by Nick Malone, the quarterback. Chewing up that yardage.
He had him going every which direction out there, Chris. Obviously, whenever he would show a little bit of a cut left, everybody would move left. That opened up more of the field over towards the sidelines for him, and another great run there by Nick Malone, back-to-back of 18-plus.
Jari Sechrist on the sideline reenacted it for assistant coach Dontrell Black about what Nick Malone was capable of on that play. He's out of the pistol this time, takes a 3-step drop back to pass. A little side-armed action here, and Dameron can't hang on. That's probably for the better, to be honest with you, as he had a safety charging right at him, and that'll bring up 2nd and 10 on the drop pass. Midfield, 10:22 to go here in the first half. Rams looking pretty good.
He was wearing Andrew Adams, the defender, like a coat out there, and you're exactly right, Chris. Obviously, you want to be able to complete passes, but you want to be able to get positive yardage out of that. I didn't see anything positive about that.
2 to the left, 2 to the right. Don't make that 3 to the right with this empty backfield set out of the shotgun for Nick Malone. Ball at midfield on 2nd and 10 with 10:22 to go here in the first half. 14-0 Mount Vernon. Snap will go to Malone. He's being chased. Good block there by his lineman, and that'll be a heave downfield. And that one was almost picked off, and unfortunately the target, I think, took his eyes off of it, thinking it was going to be tipped, batted down, or picked off. Still had an opportunity for it, and that'll be a deep pass intended for Brody Rutherford that'll fall incomplete near the red zone. Malone has showed off the running ability, and he has shown off the cannon here tonight. Local Allstate agent Paul Shields is a Ram fan, too. For a free insurance review, stop by his office at 2100 Broadway or give him a call today. 10:15 remains. We are in this second quarter of play from Urbana. The Rams with a 14-0 lead over Woodstock. Rudd the ball carrier. Well, the feature back in the backfield here. Rutherford will be used for some extra protection. One left, two right. Now Rudd will go in motion toward that left slot. Malone back to pass, and he is about midfield. He'll run it. Now down to about the 40-yard line, has first down yardage, steps out at about the 35. That's a generous spot there.
15.
So another big run by Nick Malone, the junior quarterback, and man, showing off that footwork.
Got 5 rushes, and he's got already up to 74 yards, so you're looking at just under 15 yards a carry for Malone, and obviously you want those type of numbers from your quarterback to be able to get out of tight pressure situations and turn it into something positive.
Like how he's run on this turf. Let's get a Kickstarter or GoFundMe going and get some turf back home. 14-0 Rams, 10:06 to go here in this first half. Out of the pistol set, Maxwell will be in motion for the Rams. And now a quick handoff for Rudd. Nice work there as he will get put down inside the 30 to the 25. Spot suggests that it could be on the good side of a 10-yard gain. It's exactly 10 yards. It's a first down for Rasheed Rudd, and the Rams get another first down here tonight. Clock will rewind. 9:57 to go here. 14-0 Rams. We're in the second quarter. Another 1st and 10 set here. The ball is on the 25-yard line on the near hash. Split to the right side. We will have Mr. Maxwell is the wideout all the way to the right. Dameron and Rutherford left. Sursa is the other man in the right slot. And Maxwell will be in motion in front of the quarterback this time. High snap, good pickup by Malone. However, Rudd's going to have to shake a defender. He does. He's still in the backfield. Now gets the line of scrimmage. Something out of nothing. Gain of 4.5. We'll make it 2nd and 5 for the Rams. 9:20 mark here of this second quarter. And for the Rams, give them a lot of credit. They have already worked 2.5 minutes off of the clock here in this second quarter after the turnover. The third turnover tonight by Woodstock. Keep wanting to say Taylorville. And then I will keep wanting to say Urbana for logical reasons. Because we're in Urbana and we're covering the Rams. So there's a third wheel there, and that's the Woodstock Blue Streaks. 2 to the right, 2 to the left. Pistol set again. Rudd the feature back for the Rams. Nick Malone, the quarterback, doing a tremendous job tonight. Maxwell is in motion. Quick handoff. Rudd right up the gut this time. Finds a seam inside the 20. Looking to get to the 15 for a first down. He'll be stopped about the 16. Should be a gain of about 5 to bring up 3rd and 1. So Rudd with another 5-yard gain. And Rudd is starting to add up the yardage here.
Up to 43 yards on 6 carries.
Rams have controlled the clock here in the first half, and there's going to have to be some halftime adjustments for Woodstock especially. Because when you see a team win running clock, you just don't know. And we don't know enough about Gary, Indiana football. We know Cahokia used to play a team out of Gary every year way back when. Oftentimes it would be a forfeit victory. I mean, whatever reason. 2 to the left, 2 to the right for the Rams here, and I think we're learning a little bit now. Back to pass out of the pistol, looking for the quick connect, and there it is. What a great catch by Cade Scarborough inside the 15, down to the 11. It'll be a gain of 6 on the scoreboard. 1st and 10 for the Rams at the 11. So they can get a first down without scoring a touchdown here with 7:50 to play in the second quarter. Can the Rams get another score? 2 right, 2 left. 15 on the play clock for Mount Vernon. Dameron and Rutherford left. Maxwell Sursa right. Scarborough the back this time for Nick Malone. From the 11 near hash on the spot. He's dropping back to pass. Looking around, doesn't find anything. He's being chased down. They get to his feet. Doesn't matter. He's going to run that sideline. Runs out of bounds wisely at the 6 or 7. So gets a gain of about 4 maybe, depending upon the spot. It'll be a gain of 4. It'll be, wow, to the 5. He was at the 11. That's a gain of 6.
And, Chris, what we're seeing here, obviously, is not just the good football. We're seeing smart football here. You see Malone back, senses the pressure. We're going to see that play come back, though, as a penalty on the play. Looks like a hold, and they'll be walking it back from the point of the infraction there. Second holding penalty of the evening for the Rams, but we're seeing some good decision-making by the quarterback out there, Malone, and Nick has been able to really not take a loss on anything tonight. You know, there was a couple plays early on that didn't go in Mount Vernon's favor, but he's been making some smart plays with the ball whenever he feels the pressure.
So it'll be 1st and 22 from the 23. Malone out of the option, going to roll to the left side off the fake. There's another flag, and he will slide for safety at about the 24. Oh, my. So another flag and 2 quick flags against the Rams are going to even things out here real quick. 7:19 to go in the second quarter.
So another holding penalty.
Yes, sir. It's going to be 1st and forever.
They're all the way back onto Interstate 57 on the other side of Champaign right now.
They're going to march this back to the 618. All the way back to the 36. So it'll be 1st and
looks like
35.
About 35, yeah.
Boy. Oh, my.
It's giving me shockwaves back to my Effingham days here.
7:19 left to go in this first half. We'll have your Joe's Pizza and Pasta halftime show coming up. Our scoreboard for tonight, we've already got one going on WMIXsports.com. Some volleyball, some soccer, some football as well. As a knee being taken on the field by players. Having an injured, or cramped up, I should say, Woodstock Blue Streak. But scoreboards on our website and on Rams Radio, powered by Tony Wilt. Glad to help your family with all of their insurance needs. Give his office a call. Find him on the web at TonyWilt.com or look for the White State Farm Jeep around town.
Hey, just because it's a little bit of a cool night out there doesn't mean that they can't get cramps out there. Once again, you got to wonder if the light walkthrough at the beginning, instead of getting really truly warmed up, maybe they're not getting adequately hydrated out there on the sidelines during those breaks. Whether that's contributing to some of the players on Woodstock getting cramped up out there. We've seen Mount Vernon. They've been doing good, getting guys in and out of the game here, getting some fresh substitutes in. You see a lot of guys on the sidelines hydrating over here.
7:06 left to go in the first half. 14-0 Rams. Malone, the quarterback. Ball is on the far hash of the 36. Rolling to the right side, looking downfield. Does he have anybody open? He's going to try to get one in, and what a catch by the sophomore Brody Rutherford. That is complete to about the 21, so a gain of 15 through the air, if you will. Brings up a more manageable second down here, as that's going to be 2nd and about 19. And now, with 6:54 to go, clock stops. He stepped out of bounds. It's 2nd and a whole lot less. 2nd and 19, 14-0 Ram lead. Community First Bank of the Heartland, the official voice of Rams sports here at WMIX and WMIXsports.com. They believe that local matters. Local people making local decisions for friends and neighbors. Community First isn't just a name. It's who they are. Maxwell in motion here on the handoff going to run. Does he have a seam? Gets to about the 20, gain of 1. It'll be 3rd and 18 now for the Rams.
But more importantly, you're getting back within range where you can make a decision on whether you want to, if you have to, you can kick a field goal, or you can maybe make a chance to go for it and get up 3 full scores here.
6:27 left to go. We are in the second quarter from Urbana High School in your Buffalo Wild Wings broadcast booth. 3 to the right, 1 to the left. Out of the pistol set here. Rudd the back for Nick Malone, the junior quarterback. 6:13 left in the second. Rams up 14. Fade route, far corner. That's going to be overthrown. And I think a case of where the receiver, the intended target we won't name, got a little twisted up there, a little misread on the route, and ends up falling incomplete in the back of the end zone. No harm, no foul. It was overthrown enough in that case to fall out of the reach of everybody, but it stops the clock. 6:06 left, brings up 4:18. Ball on the 20-yard line still, as the Rams are just in the red zone here. And on 4th down, we'll see what they do.
Coaches looking at each other, discussing it, figuring out what they want to do. Play clock starts rolling here.
.13 on the play clock. They're either to the time where they need to line up or they need call a timeout, or unless they're just going to take the delay of game penalty.
They're going to call a timeout, Chris. And I think that may have been some confusion on really what they wanted to do out there, whether or not they wanted to take the 5 yards and maybe show off Fitzgerald's leg, maybe take a little bit of yardage there, maybe pooch kick it, maybe try to get him pinned within the 10, or whether or not that they want to maybe go for it there. A lot of Coach Goodhart, a couple of assistants there, kind of discussing, whether or not these guys are ready. They don't want to, of course, ice their own kicker. Maybe give Fitzgerald a couple of kicks in the net over here and make sure that he's ready to go. The ball is going to be on the near hash here, so he's going to have a little bit of the field to work with. He's going to have to angle it a little bit.
Timeout brought to you by First Mid Illinois Bank and Trust, your one-stop financial resource. In addition to banking services, First Mid also offers wealth management and insurance. That's First Mid Illinois Bank and Trust, the corner of 34th and Broadway in Mount Vernon.
Looks like it's going to be about a 38-yard kick, 38-yard field goal attempt for Fitzgerald's here.
So they are going to try the field goal. The ball in the near hash, Malone to hold. Fitzgerald's on to use that left boot. Let's see if he can knock it through and make it 17-0. The kick is up. It looks like it has the distance, but it's going to be just wide to the right. A great effort, just couldn't come up with it. And he doesn't get many tries when he looks at field goals, but that was close. Rams used to be known for a kicking game. Could be a bit of a resurgent here, as that was not a bad kick whatsoever by Fitzgerald, just a little bit off.
And a lot of that can be attributed to that where that was placed on the field. Like I said, it was on the near hash mark on the Mount Vernon side of the field. Left-footed kicker, you don't want to bring it back too close or too more. Kind of shake it back over your direction here. You want to kind of kick it away from you a little bit. And that just didn't happen there. But good job by Jeremiah there and being able to get the distance there. Lets us know that we can maybe look forward to that as an option in the future.
Well, that was you mentioned it, near hash like that. That's left-footed kicker. Soccer style, not easy, as we will have a whistle on the first play from scrimmage of this drive.
Timeout.
Woodstock had called the timeout. They saw something. We all, I think, thought that was going to end badly for both teams on that one, so they called the timeout, sponsored by First Mid Illinois Bank and Trust. They offer banking conveniences. Add your First Mid Visa debit card to the mobile wallet on your smartphone and make fast, easy payments at the store. It's that simple. That simple. The Rams have made it look that simple at times. 14-0. 6:01 left to go, and I thought we were going to be able to talk about a 38-yard field goal completion there for a second.
Mm-hmm.
Not quite how it worked out, but man. Right now, the Rams will be the first out of the timeout huddle with 6:01 left to go. Give credit to the Rams. They killed 5 minutes and 47 seconds off of the clock on that last drive. Something they knew coming into the year they needed to do more of. Here comes the snap to the quarterback and a handoff into the backfield. What a tackle and what a sniff out there by the Ram defender coming off that line. That was number 56, Devontae Tate, the 5'9 senior. Bringing down the ball carrier, number 5, Aiden Jacobs, and that will be a loss of about 4 on the play by old number 5.
Tate made the offensive lineman in front of him look just absolutely embarrassed out there.
Quarterback now being chased. That's Heidke, and what a rush there on the passer. And now we'll have offensive pass interference if that's PI at all. He tugged the cornerback down with him who was giving chase as the intended target just brought the man down, and that should be on the offense. Again, if I can see it, it's blatantly obvious. And that is exactly what happened up that right sideline, and that is going to... What? They point to the defense?
I'm just as puzzled as you, Chris.
There was incidental contact. You have got to be kidding me. Oh, well. You move on, you play on. 5:31 mark of the first half. The receiver is the one who brought down the defender. But it'll be 1st and 10 now from the 31.
It just wouldn't be IHSA football if you didn't have a little bit of referee frustration out there.
And the Rams will make them pay as the ball carrier was coming on a sweep. I did not see the number.
Good job
thought that
by
was Winkleman.
Dawson Winkleman. just comes in like a missile and just levels. I didn't see who the ball carrier was. That's where I was. I was following the defense, and you were following the offense.
I thought the ball carrier that time, was Jacobs again. But man, that was just, I saw Winkleman come out like a speeding bullet out of the defense in a 2nd and 17 after the loss on that play. Ball is back to the 25-yard line, and now we are going to have the quarterback rolling to the right side. Rams defense stepping up, and maybe some pass interference there. Yep, late flag.
That's unfortunate because it was one of those that you could have gotten by with and had a beautiful play, not even had any contact. You just got to keep your hands to yourself there. But
so now that'll be another costly Ram penalty.
And they're starting to rack up a little bit here.
Well, they're going to hear some boos now. That's never fun. 4:49 mark of the first half. First and 10. Nope, it'll be 2nd down and 2. Not enough to make it a first down on the penalty. Ball will be placed at the 40-yard line. Far hash spot here. Under center, the quarterback. 2 to the right, 1 to the left. Quick pitch coming to the near side, and this is going to be a nice move by the ball carrier, number 8. Down to the 45, midfield, has a run. He's down the near sideline, 30, 25, 20. They may not catch him, and this will be a 60-yard touchdown run by Michael Gardner, number 8, to make it 14-6.
And we have not seen Gardner in the game, so he's either been quiet or he is absolutely fresh, and he showed it there on that play.
And now it is 14-6, and we will see if Woodstock goes for the point after, if the Blue Streaks send out Caleb Wambier. Looks like an L with this small font I have, but you're right, it's an I.
Good old German, strong German name, Warmbier.
And now, Warmbier is on to kick. 4:36 left to go in the first half, and on the board for the first time tonight, Woodstock after a big play. And now that kick is going to be off to the left. So it stays 14-6, an 8-point game. All right.
That was an 80-yard drive. And I'm a little confused at how many plays because we had so many penalties in there. Ended up having, I believe, the 2 big penalties on that drive. We've out Vernon Rams right now, 5 penalties for 50 yards compared to the 1 penalty for 5 yards for Woodstock. Can't let that get too far out of control. That's got to be if there's anything that's going to be a major halftime adjustment for Coach Goodhart and the Rams, that's got to be reduce the amount of penalties you're making out there on the field.
Well, and interestingly enough, Rams will get a chance at the ball here, assuming anything other than trickery from the Blue Streaks. 4:36 left to go. We are in the first half. The action sponsored by Community First Bank of the Heartland. Who will be our 3 stars of the game tonight? You'll want to pay attention because they will be up for our Good Hands Ram of the Week award, sponsored by Allstate agent Paul Shields, your Mount Vernon Allstate agent. And we'll let you know over the coming weeks how you can become involved with that. 14-6. Here comes the Warmbier kick, and that is veering off toward Dameron, who will pick it up at about the 7. He's going up the near hash, looking to cut back to the far side, now running a little backward, trying to find some more real estate and outrun the defender, and he will make a move to the 20. There's a flag, maybe a hold, or a block in the back. And so that'll bring it back a little bit for the Rams here, and they'll start a little bit deeper with 4:26 to go. Rams start this second quarter with an interception. They pick off the quarterback, number 9, Tanner Heidke, and then march it downfield, have a costly penalty, bring them back. They were within I believe, the 6-yard line. Then a couple of pass interference penalties allow a big play to develop for Michael Gardner, who ran in a 60-yard score. They missed the PAT. It's 14-6. However, the Rams will start deep in their own territory, rather.
Looks like about the 14-yard line there.
And so it'll be 1st and 10 for the Rams. 4:26 to go here in the second quarter. Rams will send 2 left, 2 right out of the pistol set for the junior quarterback, Nick Malone. Man in motion is Brody Rutherford, and we will have a motion penalty on the Rams. This will go back 5 if it is what I believe it is. It'll be 1st and 15. I think they knew they were in for it by the way that they all stopped on the motion play before the flag. So it'll be 1st and 15 from the 8 with 4:26 left to go. It'll be up to the Rams to get a big play of their own here. Looking to make something happen before we go to the Joe's Pizza and Pasta halftime show coming up at the break. Malone is out of the pistol, and this will be a jet sweep. Nope, quarterback keeper on the option, and he won't get very far. I'll get to about the 13, maybe the original line of scrimmage. So it'll be a gain of about 4.5. It'll bring 2nd down and roughly 11 here for the Rams. If you missed the Saturday Sports Show this morning, head over to our SoundCloud channel, or for easier access, log on to WMIXsports.com. We had Mark Goodhart on, John Shadowins, the 2-0 Cesar-Valere Waltonville Woodlawn Red Devils. We spoke with new DeSmet Spartans basketball coach out of Missouri, Mount Vernon Hall of Famer Kent Williams, and we also talked to former Rams coach Dan Mings, who got his 100th career win last night. Quick pass to his left side to Maxwell, complete about the 9. He's back at the 10, going to have to bust forward for some yardage. Gets to about the 14, gain of 2, 3rd and 9 now for the Rams. On the quick pass to David Maxwell. Sophomore, 5'6", stepping up there. 3:28 left to go, and for the Rams right now, you get the feeling this first half can't end quickly enough.
At this point in time, you just want to play smart. You want to eat some clock here. If you are able to break one, that's fine. If not, then you're still going into the locker room up by 8. And I think that's probably more important than coughing it up and having a very, very narrow lead going into the locker room, or even going into the locker room tied.
Empty backfield, 3rd and 9, 14, spotted on the near hash. Out of the shotgun, being flushed out is Malone. He's got to run quickly up this near sideline to the 25. He's pushed out of bounds at about the 26.
I think he's got 1st down.
Should be if he made it. So Nick Malone chewing up that yardage, running that real estate. Gets another 1st down for the Rams here, 2:53 mark. And at least gets them a little further downfield into more promising territory. Still in their own territory at about the 26-yard line. Again, the ball is on the near hash, 2:46 to go. Each team with a couple of timeouts left. Pardon me, the Rams are down to 1. 2 left, 2 right for the Rams. Sursa on the right side with Maxwell. Maxwell is in motion. It'll be a handoff now to Rudd, who finds some room on this near side at about the 25, but can only manage about a no gain to bring up 2nd down with 2:20 to go. Rams looking a little fatigued. The Blue Streaks were a little banged up. They're in their away whites with blue trim, blue numerics. There is a flash of lightning on their shoulders, not in the sky. It's a clear night. It is week 2, so I mean the past few years there has been some sort of weather delay in week 2. So I want to clarify.
Week 2, week 3 is usually the trouble spots in the schedule.
So Malone out of the pistol now, 2 to the left, 1 to the right, going to roll to his opposite side across his body, looking downfield for a throw. Now doubles back to the near side, has some running room if he can make a break for it. Get the ball down and run as he gets to the 35, now to the 40. He has 1st down yardage at the 42, and that'll be a 16-yard gain for Malone and a 1st down.
He goes up over 100 yards for the game, and a wise play once again by Nick Malone. You get the big yardage, get out of bounds, stop the clock, because now you're getting towards midfield here. Your team has a chance to maybe get some points here before going to locker room. Remember, it'll be Woodstock receiving a kick here in the second half to start off. So you want to make sure that you're going to be able to put your team at the best optimal position here heading into the locker room.
Rams would like to be able to get that score back if they can. 3 left, 2 right. Empty backfield here with 1:37 to go. Ball on the Mount Vernon 42. Maxwell in motion. And this will be another option play, and Malone almost tripped up, but he's able to make a break and at least save the no gain as opposed to a loss. With 1:28 to go here in the half. The ball should remain on or about the Mount Vernon 42. They're going to give him a yard. That's kind. 2nd and 9 now for Malone, still over 100 yards rushing for the night. The quarterback, ladies and gentlemen, making effective use of footwork and speed. Speed of which cannot be taught. 1:06 left to go here in the half, and the Rams still an empty backfield. Ball is on the 44. Just inside the far hash. And Malone drops back. A 3-step drop. Has a man on this left side now closed up, and he will dump it off downfield. Little floater, and that is going to be on the lob. It'll be picked off by number 2, Carl Anderson Jr. And so a turnover for the Rams will be their second turnover of the day. And on the pick with 48.6 seconds left, it'll be Blue Streak football at their own 29-yard line, 1st and 10. It'll be on the near hash. We'll see what they have in store here as they try to move it downfield.
Carl Anderson Jr. going all Hardee's on the play there.
Yeah.
It's got me a little hungry.
Well, it's a good thing because the Joe's Pizza and Pasta halftime show is coming up. Doesn't mean you'll get any pizza tonight, but at least you can think of it. Of course, you got to be careful with that pizza. 48.6, all of it you do. A little inside humor. 48.6 seconds to go. Not Joe's Pizza, just
pizza in general.
The pie in general, as this will be the quarterback now chasing. That is Heidke up the right side. Stumbles, trips, falls, you name it, all the way to about the 20-yard line. Part of it was his own feet. Part of it was great defense for the Rams. And with 41.9 seconds left, we're going to have a late flag.
Are we going to have a late hit here? Or maybe some unsportsmanlike conduct? I don't know. They're getting in the ear of some of the players on Woodstock. Now we got a timeout.
I think it was just sideline warning.
Okay.
Meaning, even though it wasn't on the sideline, it was on the sideline, if that makes sense. Well, there's one official looking like he's ready to march off some yardage. So maybe it was unsportsmanlike. In which case, that will cut it to about the 11-yard line.
That's a
big penalty.
Looked like maybe from where Heidke went down, it looks like an additional 10 yards. Only the second penalty of the evening for the Blue Streaks.
So that's a half the distance penalty. Timeout sponsored by First Mid-Illinois Bank and Trust, ready to serve all of your banking needs. With online and mobile banking, you can bank with First Mid anytime, anywhere. 41.9 seconds left to go. 14-6 Rams here in this second quarter. It'll bring up 1st and 28 for the Blue Streaks here with 41.9 seconds left. Heidke, the quarterback, working out of the shotgun. 3 right, 1 left, rather. Has to dig that one out of the dirt, and he is being chased and almost brought down. Brought down as he throws. That was great defense there by the Ram defensive end, Seth Lene, coming off of the edge. It's all 220 pounds chasing after the quarterback and comes up almost with a big sack, but instead pressures the quarterback into a bad throw, and it'll fall incomplete with 37.4 seconds left and bring up 2nd and 28. From Urbana High School in the Buffalo Wild Wings broadcast booth. Wing Tuesday coming up in a few days. You just missed Boneless Thursday. You never miss the sports. They have wall-to-wall TVs, plenty of brews on tap. Buffalo Wild Wings, Wings, Beer, Sports. Lene tried to make something happen from the ground there. This will be overthrown. Pressure applied by the Rams. Lene has just found something where he is able to get around his man and get to the quarterback, pressuring him yet again. It'll be 4th and 28 now, if I'm not mistaken, as it falls incomplete near the 40-yard line. So from the 12, it'll be 4th and 28 with 30.8 seconds left. The Rams with a 14-6 lead, and I would assume that they're going to punt this football.
The first 7 completions of the season, 7 throws of the season, Heidke completed. Since then, he is 3 of 9 with an interception, and he's missed his last 3 throws. So, I mean, I think that at this point in time, we can say that Heidke, whenever you can apply a little bit of pressure on him, he's going to crumble a little bit here. He's going to make some unwise decisions where he's going to throw it away. Mount Vernon defense looking pretty good here in the first half. Let's see if they'll be able to capitalize and move on to the second half with this here.
So Rams have a man back at midfield. The punt is off, and that's not quite going to get there. In fact, it'll take a rough hop at about the 34. And out of bounds, it'll go somewhere by the 40. 22.8 seconds left to go in this first half. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Rams. The ball will be on the, now I want to say Rochester. Good grief, Hugo, you're a mess. On the Woodstock 34-yard line. 36. Sorry, I was reading the scoreboard
I'm just doing everything I can to not say Martinsville because for years I've only known one Blue Streaks. It was Martinsville.
Are they independent now?
They are in the Little Okaw Valley Conference.
So they're in the LOVC.
They're part of a conference that has a good 150-mile swath from one team to the other.
I'm in a fantasy league with 2 Martinsville grads. 22.8 seconds to go in the half. Malone, empty backfield out of the shotgun. Now looking to run, runs into a guy at about the 40, so it'll be a loss of 4, and that's not so bad under the circumstances. A lot of quarterbacks, a lot of young quarterbacks would try to throw that downfield and make something out of nothing, and he just took it because at this point, that's okay. 13.8 seconds left. The Rams will burn their final time out of the half. Sponsored by First Mid-Illinois Bank and Trust, the corner of South 34th and Broadway. And if you'd like to earn $80 per year just for making everyday purchases, I know I would, stop by First Mid and learn about money-saving benefits that come with Premier Checking. So $80 per year for making everyday purchases. You get to spend money and make money, and that's the business I want to be in. But right now, the Rams in business of leading this game 14-6 with 13.8 seconds left to go in the first half. And now, see what happens out of the timeout. Probably looking for maybe 1, maybe 2 final plays of this half here. Because if you throw downfield, maybe some time if it's incomplete. If you run, probably looking at 1 last play. We'll see what they go with. It's on the 39. 2nd and 13 for the Rams. 13.8 ticks to go on that first half clock. 19 on the play clock. They'll go out of the pistol here. 3 left, 1 right. Malone, the junior quarterback, has played so well here on this fall-like Saturday. Looking for the fade to Rudd in the end zone. Leaps for it, can't come up with it. And the clock will stop with 6.4 seconds left. Rashid knows he had a great chance.
It was right there.
Just couldn't come up with it. I think he looked up as it was coming and just took his eyes off it perhaps, but Rashid, nothing to be ashamed of. That was almost a great play that brewed and a great effort nonetheless by Rashid Rudd to try to come up with that on a great throw by Malone, who I don't want to call it a coming out party for Nick Malone, but he played well last week, but he's played very well here tonight, especially as he has I don't know if the reins were loosened or if he just didn't want to run with the football last week, but he's run more with the football this week. And
he's had the holes to run this week. I think you've been able to see a good job by his line in front of him, and you've seen really all 10 guys around him really be able to create some holes for him tonight.
Possibly the final play of the half as he rolls to the left side and incomplete with 0.3 of a second. So I'm wrong again. We'll have one more play. Rutherford couldn't hang on that far sideline. I think he was trying to step out of bounds and hurry it up to make sure the clock didn't expire. Now the clock shows zeros. It stopped with 0.3 of a second, and now it shows 0. There were 0.3 of a second on the clock.
Woodstock's leaving the field, and now Mount Vernon almost reluctantly heading off.
There were 0.3 of a second at that point. We will take a quick break. We will come back with your Joe's Pizza and Pasta halftime show. It's 14-6. Rams on top at halftime. This is Rams football powered by Community First Bank.
Hi, this is Ramona Flanagan, loan officer and vice president at Community First Bank. For well over a decade, we've been the official home of true community banking in and around Jefferson County. And beyond simple supplying traditional banking services, lending solutions, and supporting our local charities and organizations, we take the most pride in calling ourselves good neighbors. Above all, that's what matters most, community first. It's not our name, it's our belief. Community First Bank, local matters, member FDIC.
Enjoy a night out at Glow Bingo, set for 5:30 p.m. Saturday, September 9th at the Ren Lake College Rec. Everyone is invited to join for a chicken and dumpling dinner before the games begin at 7 p.m. Eat dinner and compete for a chance to win over $1,000 in cash prizes for only $30. Seats are limited, so be sure to reserve yours today. Contact Ren Lake College at 618-437-5321 and join us at 5:30 p.m. Saturday, September 9th for Glow Bingo at Ren Lake College.
When it comes to orthopedics, you want personal care that gets you back in action. And now you have a center of excellence close to home. Orthopedic Center of Southern Illinois offers convenient access to leading-edge orthopedics, providing the latest in surgical and non-invasive care, as well as the most advanced imaging services for orthopedic conditions of all kinds. We also specialize in providing total joint replacement, spine surgery, sports medicine, and offer an on-site physical rehabilitation center. Get back in action with Orthopedic Center of Southern Illinois. Visit online at orthocenter-si.com or call 242-3778.
It's the perfect time to give your home a makeover and save during One Stop Flooring America's Home Makeover Sale. We're offering incredible savings on fashionable floors for every room. You can save up to $500 on select styles of Tigressa, the incredibly soft, exceptionally durable, best-selling carpet, and save on select floors store-wide. Let One Stop Flooring America's experienced staff and award-winning installers give you the flooring experience your home deserves. Hurry in today and let the makeovers begin at One Stop Flooring America, 318 South 10th Street, Mount Vernon, 242-5712.
This is Mount Vernon Rams football from WMIX Sports. The Joe's Pizza Halftime Show starts now.
Halftime show sponsored by Joe's Pizza and Pasta, Mount Vernon on Jordan Street, just south of the square. And that famous Trupiano secret sauce. Been in the family for generations. Chad, you're from the Effingham area. You know all about it, where they originated. But they're in Mount Vernon, of course, and they're making a great Chicago-style pie plus amazing pasta and even a cannoli for dessert. I believe cannoli's the dessert, right?
That sounds about right.
I think it is. I get confused. That's more of a white thing.
You could eat it all for dessert if you want.
Yeah, I mean, breakfast, it doesn't matter. But Joe's Pizza and Pasta in Mount Vernon, we appreciate them coming aboard to sponsor our halftime show here this year. Rams with a lead here at halftime, 14-6 over Woodstock. And aside from a couple of penalties that allowed one big play, a 60-yard run by Gardner of the Blue Streaks, the Rams have really controlled the time of possession, and they have controlled this game. 14-6 at the break. I'm Chris Hugo, Chad Baker alongside Hunter Schrader with us in this Buffalo Wild Wings broadcast booth. Avery Barton and Grant Smith back at our Mount Vernon studio tonight. We are all over Twitter, Facebook, Instagram at WMIX Sports. We'll take a break. We'll come back. We'll have plenty more to discuss on this Joe's Pizza and Pasta halftime show. This is Rams football from WMIX Sports.
Hi, this is Jared Knapp, Vice President of Community First Bank. As part of our 10 years of Community First birthday celebration, Community First Bank has created an all-local fundraising initiative called Community Love. It's local dollars supporting local causes and designed to help area not-for-profits. Plus, Community First will be matching all donations raised this summer up to $10,000. Look for pledge forms hanging in local businesses and join us by showing your community love. For more information, contact us at 244-3000.
Joe's Pizza in Mount Vernon delivers and caters. Call 242-2600 or stop in and dine at 819 Jordan. The Trupiano family's secret recipes are known throughout Southern Illinois. Check out the daily pasta and pizza specials, family pizza specials, and every Thursday night, it's all-you-can-eat spaghetti night. Joe's also has great sandwiches, salads, desserts, and they cater. Joe's Pizza, 819 Jordan in Mount Vernon. Online at orderjoes.com or call 242-2600.
Back to the Buffalo Wild Wings broadcast booth. This is Mount Vernon Rams football from WMIX Sports.
WMIX, WMIXsports.com for your Joe's Pizza and Pasta halftime show. It's 14-6 here at the half. The Mount Vernon Rams lead the Woodstock Blue Streaks, and Chad Baker alongside. I'm Chris Hugo. Chad, I thought for the Rams, obviously a great first quarter, led 14-0. Did not get on the board in the second quarter, but still ate up important clock time.
Yeah, I mean, they struck early, and we said at the pregame that was very important for them to do. You know, you wanted to really set the tempo early on. Preparation, and I know I'm kind of going off key here, but we've talked about Mount Vernon Rams are sitting in the locker room right now. Woodstock, the Blue Streaks, in the end zone over here on the west side of the field. I don't know if they have an aversion to locker room. I don't know if they even got here early enough to get a locker room or whether or not they have. But it just seems like their approach to being able to prepare for the game is so unorthodox compared to what we know. And I'm not wondering if it's maybe a little unorthodox to them. I don't know how many neutral site games they play, but obviously it is affecting them here today. And we see that here on this field here. If we take a look at what happened here in the first half, we got on the board with the Rams at 10:26 left in the first quarter. A Malone to Dameron 71-yard touchdown pass, capping off a 3-play 71-yard drive. Fitzgerald's with the extra point, put us up 7-0. We would score again with a minute 59 left in quarter number one. Malone with a 35-yard touchdown run, capping off a 4-play 39-yard drive. Fitzgerald's with a extra point, made it 14-0. Fitzgerald's would attempt a 38-yard field goal in the second quarter. It was, let's see here, that'd be wide right, his right, not ours, But then it's Mount Vernon maintaining a 14-0 lead at that point in time with 4:36 left. By my chicken scratching, that could be 4:56. Either way, in the second quarter, Gardner broke a 60-yard touchdown run, his only run of the evening, capping off an 80-yard drive there, and I believe it was about a 3 or 4 play drive, if I remember correctly. The extra point by Warmbier, no good. 14-6 is where we're at the half. We take a look at Mount Vernon stats here. Big night for Nick Malone, passing-wise. So far, he is 5 of 12, 104 yards through the air, a touchdown and an interception. Running the ball, Malone also leading the team. 10 rushes, 100 yards total, a touchdown, so 204 yards of offense right now for Nick Malone. He's really doing it all out there. You have Rudd adding eight carries for 45 yards. Scarborough, a carry for minus 3 yards. Maxwell with 3 yards on 2 rushes out there. So 145 yards total rushing for the Rams here this evening. And 5 different receivers have caught Malone's passes. Dameron with the 79-yard touchdown reception. Maxwell caught 1 for 2 yards. Rudd 1 for 2 yards. Scarborough 1 for 6 yards. And Rutherford 1 for 15 yards. So 104 yards through the air. Total offense for the Rams in the first half sits at 249 yards for Woodstock. And this may be more indicator of how well the Rams defense is doing. Heike, their quarterback, 4 for 10 passing, 53 yards, interception on the evening. Rushing, it was Jacobs is leading as far as carries go. He had 5 carries for -2 yards. The leading rusher is Gardner with that 60-yard run. It's his only rush of the evening. He had a touchdown. Doyle added 3 carries for 15 yards. Heike, 2 carries for 2 yards. And Shinher, 2 carries for -2. And it's a total of just 73 yards rushing on the evening. Just the 53 yards passing through the air. And 3 of those go to Shinher for 45 yards. And the other one for Grisolia for 8 yards. That is 53 yards and 73 for a grand total of 126 yards of offense for Woodstock. Now, penalties have helped Woodstock out a little bit as far as field position goes. My rough total, and of course, remember, these are unofficial stats here. 7 penalties for 70 yards for Mount Vernon compared to 2 penalties for 15 yards for Woodstock in the first half. And, of course, you had some good field position set up by a couple of kickoff returns from Dameron there for the Mount Vernon Rams. And, of course, some nice plays there. You had that fumble recovery by Tajay Gibson, the interception by Leak. And the Mount Vernon Rams, even though that they're only up by 8 points here at the half, Chris Hugo, it looks like it's, on paper, Mount Vernon dominating this game.
Certainly has that feel, and we will continue to dominate this halftime show, sponsored by Joe's Pizza and Pasta. After a quick break, Rams 14, Woodstock 6 here at the half. We have more coming up. This is Rams football from WMIX Sports.
To kick off football season, People's National Bank now has a great CD special for you. Score big with our 18-month CD at 1.30% APY. Come in today to take advantage of this limited-time offer. Stop by any People's National Bank location and open an 18-month CD at 1.30% APY today. People's National Bank, proudly serving Southern Illinois since 1909. Member FDIC. Annual percentage yield accurate as of August 16, 2017. $500 to open and obtain APY.
Hey, Pete, how's life with your 3-year-old?
Well, she's got a lot of questions.
Why? I see what you mean. And I bet you have questions about life insurance.
Why?
Well, because you need to protect your family.
Why?
An Allstate agent can give you simple answers about life insurance. Plus, when you apply, you'll get a free biometric wellness report with recommendations for leading a happier, healthier life.
Why? I mean, that sounds great.
It's good to be in good hands.
Ask Mount Vernon Allstate agent Paul Shields about life insurance today.
I'm Jonathan Reed with a look at your next rad weather. Mainly clear tonight, low 56. Sunshine, pleasant tomorrow, high 86. Mainly clear tomorrow night, low 61. Mainly sunny and hot on Monday, high 91. Partly cloudy and humid with a shower and a thunderstorm Monday night, low 63. Next rad weather from WMIX, Mount Vernon, Illinois.
This is Mount Vernon Rams football, powered by Community First Bank of the Heartland.
WMIX, WMIXSports.com. Chris Hugo, Chad Baker alongside for this Joe's Pizza and Pasta halftime show. The Rams with a 14-6 lead over Woodstock at the half. 14-0 after one, 14-6 at the half, and I think if you had to establish a key to the game earlier, it was for the Rams to get off to a quick start and then control the pace of the ball game or control the time of possession, and both of those things happened.
Yeah, definitely. I think the Rams came out. They came out poised. They came out fired up. The fans were here early. They were here early. They were out stretching. There was, I think, about 80 minutes to kickoff on the clock whenever we started seeing the first players starting to roll out on the field. Really set the tone for the whole evening. We've seen them out there stretching as a team, just kind of doing scrimmage as a team, setting it up. You've seen the linemen break it down. We see it all the time. Obviously, as announcers, we're here early. We see all this early. It's something maybe the fans don't see unless if you're really hardcore into it and you get here early to see that. And we kept asking ourselves off air, where's this other team at? Because their fans were here and they had a couple of their camera guys here, so we knew that they were still coming. And they just never showed. And then finally, we were about 2 to 3 minutes from going on air. They show up, and then it's just like it just seemed like they were just walking through everything. They didn't seem like they were going full power, getting warmed up. And I really do think that's been the difference of the game. Now, second half, both these teams have been out there playing. So, by this point in time, Woodstock's probably a little bit more warmed up. You have Mount Vernon coming out of the locker room. They're probably doing what they need to do. We talked about the hydration on the field. They had Doyle leave the game. He had some cramps out there. You're going to still have your 3-minute warm-up period here, but once again, Woodstock staying in a huddle in the end zone out here in the elements whenever you have Mount Vernon going to the locker room. They don't have the wind. They don't have, however the cold air temperature is out there. It feels different in here because we have air conditioning. But out there, you have that for the psyche of a player out there and how that plays into you. Knowing that your opponent's going into the locker room while you're standing out here with your team and your team is down. You got to wonder how that's going to play in the second half. Now, it'll be Mount Vernon kicking to Woodstock here in the second half, so they'll all likelihood get the ball first, unless if Mount Vernon plays some trickery here. But we'll see Mount Vernon be able to establish themselves on defense here. It's so important for that defense to still remain a wall here in the second half. The offense is going to do what they do. Malone's been very good here in the early going, and we expect them to probably open that up a little bit more in the second half. But the defense must maintain being a wall, and it starts with those front four.
It does, and we'll see how they fare in the second half. We'll talk about what the Rams need to do in the second half a little bit more coming back on this Joe's Pizza and Pasta halftime show. We have one more break, or another couple breaks, actually. This is Rams football from WMIX Sports.
Insurance works, or whether you have enough coverage to protect you in an auto accident, or what would happen to your family if you get sick or pass away prematurely. I'm your local State Farm agent, Tony Will, and these are the very questions that we help people with every day. If you don't have the answers to these questions, stop by my office in Mount Vernon. Waiting till a catastrophe happens to learn how your insurance works can be very costly. Don't let that be you. Find us on the web at TonyWilt.com or call us at 242-1421.
Legence Bank would like to wish all the local Southern Illinois teams and coaches much success in the 2017-2018 academic year. Legence Bank proudly supports you on and off the field. Legence Bank, member FDIC, building stronger communities in Southern Illinois since 1906. That's Legence Bank.
Your home for the Mount Vernon Rams is WMIX Sports, powered by Community First Bank.
AM 940, 96.5 FM, and WMIXSports.com. Chris Hugo, Chad Baker with you for the Joe's Pizza and Pasta halftime show. In fact, Joe's Pizza and Pasta, if you haven't had the chance to try it and you like a nice thick crust pizza, I personally recommend Joe's Pizza and Pasta. I'm a pizza guy. I mean, I might as well be Italian, Chad Baker, but I'm not, but I still love the food. And if you want real Chicago-style pizza, it's Joe's Pizza, the perfect place to dine before and after the game. From the fresh salads, garlic breads, and that amazing Chicago-style pie, there's only one place in Mount Vernon that can offer that. Of course, it's Joe's Pizza, voted the People's Choice, just off of the square on Jordan in Mount Vernon. We will take a break. We'll come back, and we will have second-half football here in Urbana. That's right. We're in the backyard of the University of Illinois. They got a win today over Ball State, just barely. The Rams hoping to get a bigger win over Woodstock. They lead at 14-6 after 2 quarters. We'll have quarter number 3 and Woodstock football next. This is Rams football powered by Community First Bank.
When it comes to banking, Banterra is the change you want to make. I'm Jeff Speed, Market Executive for Banterra, and you should know that our top priority is personal service. It's why Banterra is the region's largest locally owned community bank. We offer convenient online and mobile banking, mobile check deposit, online mortgage services, and have 25 Southern Illinois branches to serve you. Banterra Bank, proud supporter of Southern Illinois high school sports. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
This is Rob Phillips with Schmidt Ford of Salem. Come on in today and check out our huge inventory of pre-owned vehicles. With over 120 units in stock and a wide variety of choices and prices, I'm sure that we'll be able to find a vehicle that fits your needs as well as your budget. Maybe you're in the market for a brand new vehicle, which is not a problem either. Rebates and incentives are high, bringing the cost down. So come on in and see Coach Phillips or any of the friendly sales staff today and drive home in a new or new-to-you vehicle at Schmidt Ford of Salem, 548-1711.
Back to Mount Vernon Rams football, powered by Community First Bank of the Heartland.
WMIX, WMIXSports.com, AM 940 now on 96.5 FM. As we will start this third quarter of football. It is the top of the hour, or nearby at least. We need a pause for station identification. This is Rams Radio.
Worldwide on WMIXSports.com. This is Mount Vernon Rams football on AM 940. WMIX Mount Vernon, now on 96.5 FM.
There you are. That's who we are as an entity. Chad Baker alongside. I'm Chris Hugo. Hunter Schrader with us in the Buffalo Wild Wings broadcast booth. Rams football on your radio is powered by Community First Bank of the Heartland. Mount Vernon, Dix, Woodlawn, and Ina. Welcome back to Personal Banking, where local matters, and they can prove that day after day. Community First isn't just their name, it's their reputation and what they care about at Community First Bank of the Heartland. Fresh 12 on the clock here. The Woodstock Blue Streaks will have the football to start this second half. Jeremiah Fitzgerald is the lefty on to kick this one off, and we'll see who the Blue Streaks have return this one. Well, it's going to depend on who gets it, actually. You know how the football works. Let's see what happens as we wait for the kickoff, and we will have second half football at 9 o'clock. Kick will come toward the left side. Waiting for it is Michael Gardner. Lets it roll out of bounds. It's a good decision. It'll be a flag for illegal procedure on the Rams. Gardner had that lone score for Woodstock in the first half with a 60-yard touchdown run. And now we just wait for the teams to take the field and get this one going.
Probably the smartest thing that we've seen Woodstock do this evening is just allow that kickoff to roll out of bounds. It'll put you at the 35-yard line and doesn't have your offense backed up towards their end zone as much. They have a little bit of room to roam here.
It is a one-possession ball game here in Urbana. They will split off to the left side. That is Dylan Crisolia. Off to the right side and out of the eye here. It'll be from under center. Quick carry by the running back. Coming up this left side. Stays on his feet. He's at the 40, but lunges forward off balance to about the 45. Gain of close to 10 for Sean Doyle, who left the game offensively for a little while. He got banged up defensively, but then once he came back into the game on defense, is now back into the game also on offense. And now has a 9-yard gain to show for the first carry he has seen this half. It'll be 2nd and 1.
And if I'm Mount Vernon, I'm a little worried there. We brought the farm on that play, and had Doyle not stumbled down, he had nobody in front of him. You want to make sure that you allow somebody at least a courtesy to be able to wrap him up if he does break away.
Inside handoff to Doyle this time, and he will go right up the gut for a couple of yards. First down yardage for the Blue Streaks. 1:14 to go here in the first half. The clock will pause to move the chains. We will remind you that Rams Radio, powered by Community First Bank of the Heartland and Mount Vernon Dix, Woodlawn, and Ina. Find them on Facebook. You'll always be up to date with what they have going on in the community, because they are always in the middle of something at Community First Bank of the Heartland, because local matters. Community First isn't just a name. It is what they believe. Split left and right. The Woodstock Blue Streaks moving right to left. Man in motion will go tight to the right side, allowing the quarterback to roll here right. Finds a seam off tackle right between the hashes. Gets to about the 49. Gain of a couple on the play. It'll be 2nd and a little bit less. 3 stars of the game will come your way in our post-game show, and from that, those will be some nominations for your Good Hands Ram of the Week, sponsored by Allstate agent Paul Shields of Mount Vernon. Tell you more about him throughout the night. 10:20 left to go in the third. 14-6 Mount Vernon, but Woodstock trying to threaten near midfield. Still on the Woodstock side of it, out of the shotgun now. This will be another handoff, but it's fumbled, and what a pick out of the air. The ball carrier was Doyle, but what a pick out of the air by, I can't see the numbers, looks like 44, Luke Willis.
Luke Willis.
What you talking about, true freshman? He comes up with it right out of nowhere, and that'll be a huge turnover, 4th turnover of the night for Woodstock.
And once again, it is the freshman stepping up. You had Leak earlier with the interception, Willis with what will be known as a fumble recovery, essentially. It was fumbled forward there as you had Doyle already taking a couple steps. But second fumble recovery of the night. Gibson had one earlier. Now Willis. And once again, that Rams defense coming up big.
Huge play. 10:06 left in the third. It's Ram football out of the pistol. One to the left now. Maxwell in motion. He'll line up here. And now it'll be an option to the right side as Malone is going to flick it back to Maxwell. Now they lose it. And it looks like we have some hands, a pile now. Thought I saw some Ram hands on it. Some hooves, if you will. That flash of blue streak out of nowhere. It'll be 2nd down for the Rams here. And that's a tough play there at that particular point. Maybe not one you just want to hang on to at that point.
Good job by Sursa getting on top of it there. He was really the only one left there, but amongst like 2 to 3 blue streaks, white jerseys everywhere coming in on it. And Sursa maintained.
9:28 to go here in the third. Out of the pistol set, it is Mount Vernon Rams football, up 14-6 over Woodstock. Man in motion this time, it's Maxwell again. Handoff will be to Rudd. Nice cut to the near side. Pass midfield down to the 45, cuts back far side, now down to the 40, still along this near sideline. Inside the 40 to about the 38 will be a gain of 12, because he was on the opposing 48. Now he's to the 38, so a gain of 12 here. 9:08 to go for Rashid Rudd, number 1. 14-6 score. Rams are up 8. It's just one possession. Man, they'd love to have that back to 2. You look back to that field goal, and it would be an 11-point ball game right now. 2 left, 2 right. Pistol set here for the Rams. An exciting football we've seen the past couple of weeks. On 1st and 10 for the 38, snap is going to be mishandled, but Rudd's able to come up with it after a couple of bounces. So he bobbled it and he caught it, and it'll be just a loss of 2 instead of a loss of a possession. That was a great job by Rashid Rudd to come up with it in the backfield. Unfortunately, it's going to be a loss, but could have been much, much, much worse.
And all the bounces somehow coming Mount Vernon's way as
Now Rashid hobbles off.
Hobbles off a little bit. Hopefully he's okay. You know, he was able to get off the field on his own power. He'll go over to the sidelines for a few spells. But right now, you know, it's kind of a bend but don't break as far as the luck for the Rams here. A couple of plays here could have went the other way, and they maintained.
8-minute mark of the third, 14-6 Mount Vernon. Out of the pistol set again, Malone. This time he'll turn, roll to the right, throw back to the left, partially tipped, and looks like that's Scarborough coming up with it in the backfield. He gets some gain here as he gets about 5 on the play up that left side outside the hash, down to about the 37-yard line. So actually a gain of about 9 by Cade Scarborough. And so Scarborough, number 9, the gain of 9. 7:38 mark here of this third quarter, and that'll bring up third and short. Third and very manageable short here. Hope it's just a cramp for Rashid. I always kind of watch Carrie Hammond of the Orthopedic Center of Southern Illinois just to kind of see her reaction and know the severity of injuries most of the time.
They've got him stretching out over there. So if you feel it was maybe a little bit more severe, they'd probably do a little bit more of a huddle. But, you know, just try to get him hydrated, get that stretched out, and do better here.
We got a run coming up the right side for Nick Malone. Flag in the backfield, and it's going to be a hold on the Rams. They just can't stop holding. It was a fake sweep on an option, and up the right side ran Malone, had plenty of running room, got all the way down to about the 10. It would have been a gain of about 30 on the ground. And instead it's a hold, and it'll be a third and long scenario. You can stop walking. There we go, about the 42. That's going to take it back a ways. It'll be about third and 13 now with 7:03 to go. Third quarter action from Urbana. We're in the Buffalo Wild Wings broadcast booth. Wall-to-wall TVs. So that's right. Regardless of sport, they probably have it on at Buffalo Wild Wings. If not, just ask. They'll turn it on. Potomac Boulevard and Mount Vernon. Out of the pistol, 2 left, 2 right here for the Rams. Scarborough the back. Now quickly looking for completion to the flat. It is complete to the right side. Maxwell, gain of about 5 will make it 4th and 8 as they get inside the 40 to about the 37-38. So now the Rams with a 4th down situation. It'd be a 54-yard field goal, so I doubt that. We'll see if they decide to go for it or maybe try to punt. They've had some big plays, so we certainly know they're capable. And it would suggest they're going to try to punt. I don't blame them here. 4th and 8 from the Woodstock, the Blue Streak 37-yard line. Maybe a bit of a pooch here from Seth Lene. Or it could be a fake. And it's not. Here comes the kick. Ooh. That's going to be a boomer, and that's going to take a Woodstock bounce. So back. No, it's not, as Rutherford almost got there. Rutherford tried to keep it in and tried to get down inside the 1, but he slid with it into the end zone. It'll be a touchback 1st and 10. You got to appreciate that kind of hustle out of the sophomore.
Just too much momentum there as he just went diving in. And unfortunately, you can't stop your body midair. You know, obviously, if you could, you'd have special teamers making millions and millions and millions of dollars more than what they are right now. But good effort.
Always appreciate good hustle, and that was great hustle there by the trackster in the spring. Football by fall, track in the spring, and I believe a wrestler in the winter is Brody Rutherford. At least Big Brother was a wrestler. Now coming up the right side, this will be a carry off tackle right by number 8, Michael Gardner. He's dangerous. Gets a gain of about 3 or so. They might give him 4. We'll give him whatever we feel like up here on the unofficial stats, I suppose, but it's going to be 2nd and about 6 or 7 here. And now we have another Ram down. And this is what we had talked about in the pregame, Chad. This is what couldn't happen. They had to have that depth all night. They had to have that health all night to come out here with a win. But they're up 14-6 with 5:29 to go here in this third quarter, and some of the Rams will take a knee.
Both teams on their knees at this point in time, and
quick scoreboard update. Boys soccer, the Rams get a big 2-1 win over T-Town today at home. Lady Rams struggled out of the gate at the Carbondale Preview Tournament. They will have a match on Tuesday against Centralia. They'll come back to Chagnon with a record of 2-4, it looks like. As the injured Ram will leave the field on his own 2 feet. Looks like maybe more of an arm type thing.
Back to that soccer game. That's not an easy feat. T-Town's obviously a pretty good soccer program there, and to be able to hang one on them, I know Mount Vernon's a bigger school, but to hang one on a team like T-Town is definitely a feather in your cap.
Hunter Schrader shakes his head yes, former Rams soccer star. Retired now. 3 left, 1 to the right out of the shotgun single back set here for the Woodstock Blue Streaks. Tanner Heidke, the quarterback, and this one looked like it was almost deflected, but a great catch there by Dylan Crisolia. Past the 30 down to about the 32 as the Rams finally able to bring him down. Be a gain of about 7, bring up 1st and 10 now for the Blue Streaks of Woodstock. Woodstock High School, there are 3 Woodstock schools. There's Woodstock Marion, which I believe is a non-boundary institution, as they say. I believe there's also Woodstock North.
Mm-hmm.
This is Woodstock.
And they'll all play each other at some point in the season.
Highly likely. So Woodstock has a 14-6 deficit, but they have a fresh set of downs. 1st and 10 from their own 32 on the near hash, moving right to left. Man in motion, Gardner. It'll be a quick handoff to Doyle. Right up the gut, finds some running room. Tripped up on what could have been a lengthy saving tackle at about the 40. Just a shoestring grab by Evan Leake, the safety. And now that will be down, maybe close to 1st down yardage. Yes, it will be. Right at 10-yard gain on the ground for Sean Doyle. Jack Doyle is the Indianapolis Colt tight end. Sean Doyle is not. He's a Woodstock Blue Streak that just got a 1st down.
And Mother Doyle is Hawks Columbia Jackets. So. Gert Doyle, I believe, is her name.
So now 3 left, 1 to the right. In motion, the ball carrier. Nope, it's going to be Doyle again. Cuts back between the hashes as he finds some running room there. Gets down to about midfield for a gain of 7. Favorable spot should give him a gain of about 9 and make it 2nd and short here with less than 4 minutes to play in the 3rd quarter.
Doyle's a good size back. To be able to watch him move out there, kind of reminiscent for folks that maybe, no NFL guys, kind of reminiscent of a younger Jerome Bettis before he kind of bulked up a little bit in Pittsburgh back in his LA/St. Louis Ram days.
3 right, 1 left. Trip set here, and it's going to be Heidke on the carry. Keeps it himself, 1st down yardage, maybe more. As he gets to the 40, he'll finally be brought down by Leake from behind at about the 32-yard line. Gain of roughly 16 on the ground for the quarterback. Heidke comes up with another big carry, and now 3:30 mark here of this 3rd quarter, and the Blue Streaks are threatening. Of course, to tie it, they would need a 2-point conversion to be successful. They trail 14-6. 3:25 mark of this 3rd quarter. It'll be on the near hash. In the Ram territory, however, from the 33-yard line. Trips right. 1 left. Doyle the lone back. And they're going to look for the quick pass, and that one was almost snipped out. Just a missed tackle on that right side opens it up for the sideline, and what a great run there. And getting out of bounds is David Shiner. And now, Shiner, maybe even. He might have had 1st down yardage after he stepped out of bounds near the 20-yard line. We'll see where they spot the football. It was on the 33, and now it is down. He did not get inside the 20, so not a favorable spot that time. So now it'll be 2nd and 1. Out of the shotgun, it's going to be a quick carry by Doyle again. He's going to try to stretch the field to the near side. He's at the near hash. Bulldozes the guy at about the 15. Now at the 10, stays on his feet, breaks a tackle at the 2. He gets into the end zone. And that will be Sean Doyle on a 23-yard touchdown run at the 2:58 mark of the 3rd. And Doyle gets a 22-yard score, I believe it was.
Let's go ahead and give him 23 on that, because it was just right before that 1st down marker, and it was at the 23 there. So, but they go 80 yards on the drive once again.
Unbelievable. So now, right now, 12 unanswered points by Woodstock. They're going to try to tie this one up and go for 2. And this will be a quick handoff. Looked like maybe a handoff inside. Can the Rams sniff it out? No, they can't. It'll go right up the right side.
That was Jacobs on the play.
So Jacobs, Aiden Jacobs with another big carry, and this time it's for 2 to tie it up. So at the 2:58 mark of the third quarter, we have a brand new ball game, all tied up at 14.
I have a 10-play, 80-yard drive capped off by that 23-yard touchdown run by Doyle. And the 2-point conversion by Jacobs. And it's a whole new ball game, and right now, you know, a very tired Mount Vernon defense going to get off the field. We'll see what the offense can do to try to get some points back on the board here.
So a new ball game breaks out, tied at 14 here late in the third quarter. 2:58 left to go. If the Rams can avoid a holding penalty or two here, they have moved the football very well tonight. Nick Malone has played well. The entire offense has played very well. Isaiah Dameron had a big touchdown catch to really open up things here. And now they should have the football, barring any trickery from the Blue Streaks of Woodstock. Streaming is powered by Red Lake College. See how you can save thousands. Log on to rlc.edu. Even apply online while you're there. As you know, Rams football is sponsored by Community First Bank of the Heartland, the official voice of the Rams and Lady Rams here on WMIX. Mount Vernon, Dix, Woodlawn, and Ina. Local matters. Community First is more than just a name. It's what they believe. Here comes the kick. Takes a wild hop at about the 10-yard line, but picked up by the Ram returner. Looks like Isaiah Dameron. He runs into his own guys and able to break 3 down to about the 30. So a return of about 20 yards will make it 1st and 10 for the Rams at about their own 30-yard line. Ball will be on the near hash. And now 2:49 remains in this third quarter. Rams have been able to eat some clock tonight.
Rams still have to feel like they're in the driver's seat here. Obviously, you've got the ball back here. Do what you do best. Put the ball in number 4's hands. Allow him to spread the field. Make sure you have some good blocking for him. And eat some clock.
Pistol set. 1 right, 3 to the left here for the Rams. Rudd is the back into the ball game. Pitch will go to the left side. He's still hobbling somewhat, but he's able to make some running room. Shy of the 35 for a gain of about 4 to make it 2nd and 6 for Rasheed Rudd. So for the Rams, 14 unanswered points in the second and third quarters to see this one become a very tight ball game. 14 all with 2:16 left to go. Far hash spot just inside it. Maxwell in motion for the Rams, 2 on each side now. Looking for the quick handoff out of the option. It'll go up the left side. And that one stopped at about the 35 for a gain of 1 as the ball carrier that time. I thought. I didn't see the ball carrier that time. It was Scarborough.
I believe it was Scarborough, yeah.
Local Allstate agent Paul Shields is proud to support the Rams. Call 241-0551 or stop by his office at 2100 Broadway. Minute 36 left to go. We're here in the third quarter, tied at 14. Rams trying to make it happen on 3rd and 6. They didn't give him a good spot on that one, at least not favorable, I should say. As now to be Scarborough, off tackle left side, finds some running room and leaps forward to about the 43. And that'll move the chains for a first down as Cade Scarborough comes up with a big run there.
Pick up an 8 there on the play, and good run to get him back into positive yardage here for the evening.
Clock will drop below the 1 minute mark on this possession for the Rams. Tied at 14. We are in the third quarter from Urbana. Pleasure to be here with you. Chad Baker alongside. I'm Chris Hugo. Hunter Schrader with us in the Buffalo Wild Wings broadcast booth. Man in motion will be Maxwell. Moving right to left. Quick handoff up the middle this time for Cade Scarborough. And it's sniffed out rather quickly. Back at around the 40, it'll be a loss. So it'll be 2nd down and long here for the Rams.
They're going to give him forward progress on that, Chris.
Good.
I think he got got the forward out there about to the 42. They're only a loss of about a yard on the play.
Local matters most to Community First Bank. Community isn't just where they work, it's where they live and raise their families, just like you and I. Community First isn't just their name, it's what they believe. 23 seconds to go, it's 2nd and 11. Back to pass is Malone. He has shown an arm tonight, little fade. Nice little lob, it's caught by Scarborough at about the 45. He's pushed backward, give him forward progress, sir. Should be to about the 40-yard line, 45 rather. Of course, all that was deep in the backfield, so it'll only end up like a gain of 2 or 3. And they will give forward progress to the 45, and that's where clock should expire here on this third quarter. We're at the end of 3 in Urbana. The Mount Vernon Rams 14, the Woodstock Blue Streaks 14. We'll come back with the fourth. This is Rams football powered by Community First Bank.
Wouldn't it be great if we all had a friend or neighbor you really trusted or to help assist you in managing your money? A helping hand to look out for your best interests? Well, you do. That's exactly who Community First Bank is. Chances are you've seen us at the ball field, in church, or right next door. Friendly, local Jefferson County residents, from the smiling, helpful tellers all the way to our executive board. We're proud to call Jefferson County home. We're always here to help. Community First Bank, local matters, member FDIC.
If you could get rewarded for sleeping, would you? Or for sitting in a comfy chair watching football on TV? That dream job is real thanks to Buffalo Wild Wings. You can come in, watch football, and earn points with Blazing Rewards just for being there. Buffalo Wild Wings. Wings, beer, sports.
Terms and conditions apply. Must be a Blazing Rewards member. To join and for details, visit BlazingRewards.com or download the Blazing Rewards app.
Buffalo Wild Wings in Mount Vernon, located right off the interstate on Potomac Boulevard.
Follow us on social media at WMIX Sports. This is Mount Vernon Rams football.
AM 940, 96.5 FM, and WMIXsports.com. The Mount Vernon Rams with the football on their own 46-yard line as they switch sides to start the fourth, tied at 14. Rolling the pass to the left is Malone, complete to Dameron at about the 45 on the opposing territory, and now it'll be a gain of about 9 or so to bring up first down. What a completion. Nick Malone, another completion to Dameron. Dameron had that big play out of the gate to start the game. Had a 79-yard touchdown score earlier, credited as a pass, and now
they give him all 10 on it.
Good deal.
Yeah.
11:37 remains here in the fourth quarter. 14 all, the Rams and the Blue Streaks. Rams will welcome Triad at home Friday. We'll be there for it. 6:30 pregame, 7 o'clock kickoff. Quick pitch coming left side here. Scarborough getting the bulk of the carries now with Rudd out of the game. And I think he runs for a loss here, just a short loss, if any. No gainer. Maybe a slight gain. Gotta love those favorable spots. I'm not being smart, Elk. Everybody's been getting favorable spots tonight, so that one will work out for a slight gain for Cade Scarborough. And now with 10:59 to go in the fourth quarter, the Rams and Blue Streaks are all tied up, and the Rams are hoping to threaten here. 2nd and 9 from the Woodstock 45. Ball on the near hash as they move right to left. Single back set out of this pistol offense. Quick turnaround, looking to drop back, and now rolling to the right side is Malone, looking downfield. Has Maxwell deep. He's going to have to launch this one toward the sideline and out of bounds. That's a smart play by Nick Malone. Still had an opportunity to find Maxwell, but didn't take too big of a risk. And ends up throwing it out of bounds, but in the direction of the receiver to avoid the grounding penalty, which is a big play that haunted the Rams a week ago. A grounding that led to a touchdown.
Yeah, and with as loose as they are with the rules on IHSA, you know, obviously they'll throw out a random grounding coming out of the pocket like that, you know, every now and then. So obviously you want to make sure that you're safe, make sure that your receiver is at least within 5 yards within range of. So that way it looks good whenever you're getting it downfield there.
3rd and 9 now for the Rams. Rolling to the right side, the pass out of the pistol is Malone. It's going to be picked off right out from underneath the Ram receiver, and that is a great pick by number 20 in stride, David Scheinher. And now that was intended up the right side, would have been a first down. That is a huge turnover for the Rams as turnovers are starting to even out a little bit here. Still a disadvantage belonging to Woodstock tonight, but in a 14-all ball game, that's a late fourth quarter turnover. I should say a late turnover here in the fourth. Not what you want if you're the Mount Vernon Rams, and now they will switch to defense, and the last 2 scores belong to Woodstock, and you don't want the last 3 to belong to Woodstock. It's at the 49-yard line. Just shy of Ram territory here, just shy of midfield.
Still early enough. I think if you have a good stand here, just hit the reset button at that point in time.
And now up the left side, this will be Doyle again on a carry. Off tackle to the left, just past the far hash, gets a gain of about 3 or so. 10-17 mark of the 4th quarter. Chris Hugo, Chad Baker with you in the Buffalo Wild Wings broadcast booth. Buffalo Wild Wings is in Mount Vernon on Potomac Boulevard.
Now Doyle's down for Woodstock. That would be a big loss for them because he's been really tearing it up here in the second half. Got 73 yards on the evening, including the touchdown, but as we look at the stats sheet here, 58 of those yards have come since the halftime break. So if they lose him, they lose a big cog in the machine that's been their comeback here in the second half.
And so they will take a look at things down there on the field. 10-13 remaining here, 4th quarter action. 14-all ball game. The Rams started out with a 14-0 lead after 1 and were threatening to score a 3rd time. Tried to settle for a 37-yard field goal and just missed to the right. And since then, Woodstock, over the past couple of quarters, has scored 14 unanswered points to tie this ball game. 2nd and 7 now for the Blue Streaks. In their white and blue uniforms, the visitors on tonight's scoreboard at this neutral site. 10:08 left to go in the 4th quarter. Rolling to the right side, he's going to keep it himself. This is a nice carry at the 45, now down to the 40. 35-30. Near sideline, the quarterback, 25, down to the 20, pulled down finally at about the 19-yard line. And that was a gutsy carry by Tanner Heidke, the quarterback. It'll end up as a gain depending upon the spot he's down, but depending upon the spot and where they spot it, it'll be about the 18. So they're going to spot it at the 19-yard line. So that's going to be about a 33-yard gain on the ground by the Woodstock quarterback. And now Kerry Hammond tending to him.
Everybody's going to take a knee here on this.
We're not going to speculate, obviously. It's both trainers taking a look out here at the Woodstock quarterback, but appears to be in some pain and, of course, is on the ground. We hope that he is okay at the 9:57 mark here of the 4th quarter.
Well, we've been seeing a lot of guys come out of the games with cramps or, maybe the footing out there. A lot of these guys not used to playing day in, day out on turf. Turf traditionally is a little tougher on guys whenever they can get into an open field, if they can get that foot planted or maybe a foot slips a little bit out there. So there's going to be a few more injuries that you see whenever you do play on turf. It's kind of the give and take with the playing surface. He's going to be helped up here by both trainers, and they'll tell you everything you know whether or not he can put any pressure on it, because obviously that's very painful.
And he will be assisted off the field. And right now, I mean, we may see a different quarterback coming to this ball game from the Blue Streaks. And, of course, you just want him to be okay. 9:57 mark of the 4th quarter, tied at 14. Rams and Woodstock. Rams will have Triad next week coming into the new Ken Hunt Stadium. We'll have it for you right here, AM 940, 96.5 FM, or watch it online at WMIXsports.com. Special tailgate prior to the game, our own Avery Barton from the afternoon drive on WMIX will be broadcasting live from 5 to 6 to help with the tailgate festivities at the new Ken Hunt Stadium. We hope you'll join us.
It looks like it's going to be not Ken Anderson. That would be a Bengals reference there. Carl Anderson Jr. coming in.
So Carl Anderson 2.0 will take over at quarterback with 9:57 left to go here in the 4th quarter. 14-all. Ball is on the 19-yard line in the red zone here for the Blue Streaks. Out from under center. This will be a carry just right up the gut for Michael Gardner. He had that 60-yard touchdown run earlier that we keep going back to make it 14-6. And now he cuts the distance about in half as he gets to about the 16. So it'll be 2nd and 6 now for the Blue Streaks, who are threatening to take their first lead of the night. Seems to be some confusion amongst the Blue Streaks. Play clock now to single digits. Under center is Anderson, the quarterback now looking for the pitch to the left side. It's to Gardner again. Gets a nice block in the backfield, and now the Rams trying to bring him down. It takes a couple. Initial contact made by number 10, Evan Leake, and then contact made by Kate Scarborough. We'll see what the flag is. Maybe they finally caught that hold. I doubt it.
Personal foul against Mount Vernon. Wow.
That'll be a tough penalty. That'll be half the distance. That is not what you need there with 9:04 to go in the fourth quarter and the opponent threatening to score the go-ahead score. So they will wind the clock here. We'll drop below the 9-minute mark of the fourth quarter. The ball will now move inside the 10 at about the 7. It'll be on the far hash, first and goal now.
9 penalties for 88 yards against Mount Vernon.
And now we will have another flag. Can't get enough of those. Community First Bank of the Heartland, the official voice of the Rams and Lady Rams here on WMIX. Local matters. Community First isn't just their name, it's what they believe. Another penalty, and it'll be walked off half the distance, so let's go to the 3.5.
Bumps up to 10 penalties for 92 yards, and that I think is going to be probably one of the major footnotes for our post-game show here this evening.
Split to the left and to the right. Ice set here for the quarterback. Anderson under center. 8:26 to go. It's first and goal from the 3. Inside handoff will go to the ball carrier, who is just shy of the end zone, just shy of the plane. Rams' wall of defenders stood tall there. And that ball carrier, I believe, was number 44, Dylan Grisolia. So now 8 minutes to go here in the fourth. It'll be second and goal from the 1-yard line. Can't have the Ram defense break, and you certainly really can't even have them bend right now. Second and goal from the 1-yard line. Threatening here are the Blue Streaks from Woodstock. Tied at 14 here in the fourth. And now quarterback keeper here on the sneak, and that's going to be a score. 20-14. Woodstock, their first lead of the night, comes at the 7:38 mark. So Anderson gets the QB sneak.
Anderson Jr. with the 2-yard touchdown run. Another big drive given up by Mount Vernon. That's one of the 70-yard variety.
And so now they will go for the old school PAT. Kick is up from the right foot, and it's no good. Blocked by the Rams. It'll be 20-14.
That is going to loom big, because if Mount Vernon is able to get down to the other end, score, a pretty good kicker on our side. And I think he's going to want to redeem himself for the missed field goal earlier on.
So 20-14, the Rams were up 14-0, and since then 20 unanswered points from the Woodstock Blue Streaks. Not where you want to be at this point in the fourth quarter, but there is still plenty of time, and the Rams have moved the ball well. Chris Hugo with Chad Baker alongside WMIX, WMIXsports.com. Pleasure to make your acquaintance on a beautiful, clear, but cool Saturday night here in Urbana. See what the Rams can do if they get it back. 7:38 to go here in the fourth quarter. Streaming powered by Red Lake College. Log on to rlc.edu. Apply online while you're there and check out their more than 100 degree and certificate programs. Here comes the kick. It's a boomer, and that one will be let go into the end zone, a touchback. So 1st and 10 for the Rams from their own 20 after the touchback, and with 7:38 to go in the 4th, there's plenty of time to come back. It's 20-14 in Blue Streaks here in the 4th after the 1-yard quarterback sneak by backup quarterback Carl Anderson, who came into the game to replace starting QB Tanner Heidke. Can the Rams do? They have 80 yards, but 7 minutes and 38 seconds to play with. 2 to the right, 1 to the left. And now rolling left side, or I should say in motion to the left side, will be Cade Scarborough. 2-step drop back to pass. Malone has some running room. Instead, he's going to try to break to the sideline. Finds it. Now looks for the first down marker and steps out of bounds just beyond that. I thought he stepped out just beyond that. They're not going to give it to him. So it'll be 2nd and short.
May have got just a touch of the foot on the white right there on the Woodstock sideline there, Chris. From our vantage point, compared to their vantage point.
I'll take their word for it. I will take their word for it. So it's a 9-yard gain for Malone on the ground, still undoubtedly the lead rusher tonight. He'll have 3 to the right, 1 to the left. Scarborough is back here. Malone is out of the pistol set. 2-step drop, looking left side. He's going to throw this one, try to go over the top, and that one it died in the air a little bit. As Dameron was trying to catch up to it, he was going to have to cut back to the right to get to it at about the 35-yard line. So it falls incomplete. It'll be 3rd and 1 with 7:24 left, and I like the, for lack of a better term, ballsiness of that play call. Try to go for it on 2nd and short, but now you still have a manageable 3rd down situation here with 7:24 to go.
I think you attack. Start running the clock down. You still have it in your wheelhouse here. You're only down by 6. If you score, then it's really on your kicker here.
Fake sweep, but nowhere to run. The Rams' offensive line kind of closed in there, and there was nowhere for Nick Malone to go. They faked a sweep and then sniff out the run does Woodstock. And Malone had nowhere to go, so on the quarterback keeper, it'll be a loss of about 3, and it'll be 4th and 1 now on the 26-yard line. So the Rams have it 4th and 1, and that was just a case where the defensive line pushed the offensive line back. And they have been strong tonight, but by goodness, everybody appears to be rather fatigued.
Here's a big play.
Sursa and Maxwell to the left. To the right, it'll be Dameron. And what's going to happen? Timeout Mount Vernon as Dameron and Rutherford will split off to the left. This timeout is sponsored by First Mid-Illinois Bank and Trust at the corner of 34th and Broadway in the King City. At First Mid-Illinois Bank and Trust, they're putting you first. You can count on familiar faces providing friendly banking service. Stop by First Mid at the corner of South 34th and Broadway and talk with Michelle, Shelley, and the entire First Mid team today. 20-14, Woodstock on top. 20 unanswered points for the Blue Streaks here with 6:41 left to work with. It'll be a 4th and 4 set here for the Mount Vernon Rams. The ball is on their own 26-yard line between the hashes, so a manageable situation. He's got to have some running room or just have to be able to make a play here, and we saw them go for it. Go for a deep ball down the left sideline on 2nd and 1, and then have no running room on 3rd and 1. So on 4th and 4 now, going to have to make something happen. So out of the timeout huddle, they leave, and they head back to the line of scrimmage at the 26-yard line in Mount Vernon territory. Rutherford and Dameron left. Sursa and Maxwell right. The back is Cade Scarborough out of the pistol, which is a running back out of the shotgun behind the quarterback. Looking to the right side, it's to Scarborough, complete. Can he get to the line of scrimmage and beyond? He gets to the first down marker. How about it? First down, that's Rams. Good. That'll be about a 5-yard completion to Cade Scarborough. Just out of the flat, little dump off there to the right side, and he rolled with it, and that'll move the chains. That's a big play for the Rams here. 6:32 to go in the 4th quarter, still trailing 20-14.
And we've seen Malone and Scarborough be successful on a couple of those here today. They've that's Scarborough's 4th pass completion and 23 yards all told. 6, 9, 3, and 5. Getting out in the open, he's been very successful in getting those short gains.
Out of the pistol, same set, 2 left, 2 right. Malone drops back, has some running room, up the middle. Now between the hashes, he's going to get a first down as he slides just past the first down marker. At least that's how I would spot it. How I would spot it and how it's been spotted at times, because they know the rules better than I do, are different at times. So it's either 1st and 10 or 2nd and short. And we're talking inches. They give it to him. 1st and 10, 6:01 to go. It'll be a 10-yard gain for Nick Malone.
This is not a officiating crew that loves measuring. We haven't seen a measurement tonight. They're like, if it passes the eye test, they're going to go ahead and send the chain gang down.
So 6:01 left to go as the clock stops. Now they roll. 1st and 10 from the Mount Vernon 41 on the far hash. Out of the pistol set. Man in motion is Brody Rutherford left to right. It'll be 3 on the right side now. And they're looking for the quick connect. And that's just a simple miscommunication there on who is going to be where and when. It'll fall incomplete, intended for Rutherford up the right side. And there was not enough time for Rutherford to get to his spot. So 2nd and 10 now for the Rams on the 5 with 5:48 left. Ball is on their own 41-yard line. Far hash spot. It's 20-14. Rams are now down a half dozen. Out of the pistol, Nick Malone and the Mount Vernon Rams trying to march downfield and get this lead right back. Quick spot here, and that was intended for Rutherford coming up the left side, or maybe it was intended for Dameron, but either way, whoever it was supposed to be intended for was not in the spot where they could get. So a little overthrow, and it'll be 3rd and 10, but Malone has been otherwise brilliant tonight, both on the ground and through the air. It's the Ram team that, man, you think if they can just find a couple of ways to get better and stop maybe shooting themselves in the foot, that W might loom at some point this year, and you hope it's tonight. 5:45 to go. We are in the 4th quarter, 20-14 Woodstock. They've scored the last 20 points of the ballgame. Out of the pistol now. Malone going to roll to the near side. He's looking deep downfield, has Isaiah Dameron. He's got to beat his man, and that one was almost picked off. Rams hoping for a flag, not going to get it. Incidental contact at about the 25 led to a tumble at the 20. It'll be 4th and 10 now for the Rams. Threw into traffic there and almost paid for it, but in that case, that'll bring up 4th and 10 with the clock stopped at 5:38 to go. Community First Bank of the Heartland in Mount Vernon, Dix, Woodlawn, and Ina. Welcome back to Personal Banking. Maxwell and Sursa split right. Split to the left, we have Dameron and Rutherford. And now Scarborough to the right side in the slot. Malone going to have to shake a man here that got past the O-line. Looking downfield, it'll be picked off. Picked off at about the 42-yard line. Big turnover there, and that'll be Andrew Adams on the pick. Had the right idea, rolled left looking for his receiver. And now a turnover battle is even at 4 apiece. And this will be 1st and 10 for the Blue Streaks. 5:31 remains here in the contest as we start to dance with that 10 o'clock hour. This is an unusual start time tonight. Normally, you think of Saturday football, you think of maybe a 1, a 5, or a 7, maybe even a 2 or a 4, regardless. A 7:30 start tonight will have us running into the 10 o'clock hour. 1st and 10 here, ball on their own 41 for the Blue Streaks. It's on the near hash as they move left to right. Anderson's the quarterback under center. And now a handoff to Doyle off tackle up the left. He can get to about the 44. They might give him the 45. They will give him the 44. It's a gain of 3. 2nd and 7 now. With 5:13 left to go, we'll have your Schmidt Chevrolet Cadillac postgame show coming up in this one with your 3 stars of the game. So on 2nd and 7 from the 44.5, 4:56 left to go. Now they wind the clock, 20-14 ball game. The Blue Streaks trying to get to 2-0. The Rams trying to get to 1-1. Not over yet. Doyle will now be, this is a legal procedure, has to be that or the Rams flinched. I saw 2 guys move, and they're going to say offsides. So the 3 guys must have moved, with one of them being a Ram.
And maybe a little frustration setting in here, Chris. Obviously, you've played a long game. You felt you played better than what the scoreboard indicates. And, of course, some guys on defense, big guys underneath, getting a little tired, rocking back and forth out there a little bit. And one of the big guys just got off balance.
Ball is at midfield on the near hash. 2nd and 1 now for the Blue Streaks. 4:20 left to go. And that was dangerous to be offsides, but they will get the first down yardage here from the ball carrier, Adrian Jacobs. Went right off tackle. And now gets a gain of about 4. So 1st and 10 for Woodstock in this 20-14 affair. Woodstock on top. They've scored the last 20 points. .352 left to go. And now out from under center is Anderson Jr., and we will have a flag for delay of game. That'll push it back 5 yards. It'll be 1st and 15 from the Woodstock 49. .346 remains in this one. First and 15 from the Woodstock 49. 20-14, the Blue Streak on top. Now from under center, it'll be an inside handoff, and Adrian Jacobs gets the carry, and he'll dance around a little bit, but fall from a tackle. It'll be 2nd and about 13, maybe a gain of 2 here with 3:30 left to go here in the 4th. So 2nd down and long now for the Blue Streaks. And they are taking their time, and you can't blame them. They're trying to take as much of this time off of the clock as possible. Rams have 2 timeouts. Woodstock's only taken 1 timeout tonight, according to my recollection. And here they are to the line of scrimmage with 9 on the play clock. 3:12 left on the game clock. Quick pitch left side. This will be Adrian Jacobs, and the Rams are there to get him again at midfield, so it'll be a loss this time. We're back to 3rd and 14 as we drop below the 3-minute mark.
Rams will look like they're going to get the ball back. They won't have a lot of time, but as you said, they'll have the timeouts to work with. And they got to just work on methodically getting to the sidelines, using the sidelines to the best of their ability. And whenever they had success in the first half, they were doing that. You know, Nick Malone getting to the sideline, and now it sounds like the Rams faithful getting behind the black and orange out there.
3rd and 14 from midfield for the Blue Streaks. 2:27 left to go. You know they're going to run. It'll be Doyle this time. He tries to go up the middle, doesn't get to the original line of scrimmage. It'll be 4th and 11 on the gain of 3 with 2:20 left to go. So the Rams will take a timeout to extend their time of possession, as it is 4th and 11 here. This timeout sponsored by First Mid-Illinois Bank and Trust. And if you're planning to buy a new home, talk to Dwayne Gully at First Mid-Illinois Bank and Trust. Dwayne can walk you through the loan process, answer all of your questions, and get you moving quickly. First Mid is an equal housing lender. That was a big tackle by Jordan Jones, the senior, a moment ago on 3rd down to turn it into 4th and 11. At about the Woodstock 46. So the Rams right now, there's 2:20 to work with. Obviously some time will come off of the clock on a possible punt. But all of that said, the Rams find themselves in a decent position. They've shown they can move the ball downfield quickly tonight. They just haven't been able to do that since the first quarter. But a lot of that has been penalties, as the Rams have shot themselves in the feet a couple of times tonight. Not just one foot, but both feet. They will send Isaiah Dameron back to return the punt. It'd be nice if we just return one and call it a day. The Blue Streaks, 4th and 11 from the 46. They will punt. The Rams have Dameron back at about this 7. Here comes the punt. Can't get there. And this one will end up being downed. Actually, it'll roll out of bounds at about the 3. Great punt by the Blue Streaks. The Rams will be pinned back deep here with 2:12 left in the ballgame. On their own 3, so the Rams will have to scamper, throw, whatever, traverse 97 yards in 2 minutes and 12 seconds. It can be done. Community First Bank of the Heartland is the official voice of Rams and Lady Rams sports here on WMIX. Local matters, they prove that again on a daily basis. Community First isn't just their name, it's what they believe. 2:12 left to go. Rams will send Rutherford and Dameron to the left, Sursa and I'm guessing Maxwell to the right, out of the pistol with the quarterback Malone in his own end zone. He's looking to pass, has a slant. Nope, he's going to try to run it out of the end zone to the right side, breaks the sideline, first down yardage, steps out of bounds beyond the 13 to the 14. And with 2:05 left, it'll be 1st and 10 for the Rams on a gain of about 11.
This is what they make movies out of, Chris, and see what the Mount Vernon Rams can write as far as a script here this evening. Starts with a nice play there by Malone.
Rams have seen the opposite happen to them. Against Cahokia, South 7 Conference Championship on the line in 2008. 80 yards in 20 seconds go the Jimmy Hunt, the Mizzou product, and the Comanches. Maybe they can do it today with a little more time and 97 yards. Malone dropping back, throwing off to the opposite side. Nobody there. Almost picked off. Couldn't get there in time, could the safety, and now it'll be 2nd and 10 with 2 minutes left to go. So now a 2-minute drive here for the Rams. 2-minute drill, if you will. Can they do it? 2nd and 10 from their own 14-yard line. Far hash as they move right to left. They're talking about it in the huddle. Clock has not been wound. Now it is. And now everybody steps to the line, and they'll send 3 to the left. Rutherford, Dameron, Scarborough. Empty backfield, 2 to the right, Sursa and Maxwell for the quarterback, Nick Malone. 2 minutes to go, 2nd and 10. Back to pass, it's a 4-step drop this time. He's looking downfield, has Dameron. He'll pick it out of the air for a clean grab. Trying to get to that far sideline, trying to get there to get out of bounds. He's at the 39. Gain of 25 through the air, and with 1:52 to go, the clock will pause as they move the chains. That is a 25-yard reception for Isaiah Dameron. Well over 100 yards now. Should be a tough but easy 3 stars of the game in the Schmidt Chevrolet Cadillac postgame show, win or lose. Out of the pistol here, minute 44 to play. They're going to give him to the 40. And now, taking a couple of steps, looking to get rid of it. Now he's going to have to run. Still in the backfield, Malone can still throw, and he will just throw it off downfield. It's out of bounds. And the clock will stop with a minute 31 to go on 2nd and 10 from the Mount Vernon 40. They have a 79-yard touchdown pass to their credit today. They're now 60 yards out with a minute 31 left. They've had about 50 seconds on this drive, just shy of a minute.
Still plenty of time, Chris, and obviously you want to just take it one play at a time. You want to take care of the football while you're out there. Even if you have to pick, get downfield 20 yards at a time, I mean, you think about that, that's only about 4 plays there, so you need to make that happen.
3 left, 2 right, empty backfield. The Rams are out of the shotgun. The quarterback, Nick Malone. And now, let's see here. Drops back. He's in the pocket between the hashes, looking over the top, and that is almost picked off. What a great grab that would have been by Michael Gardner, who came over the top and almost picked that one out of the air. And so now it'll be 3rd and 10 for the Rams with a minute 26 left. This Ram team led 14-0 after 1 quarter. And since then, 20 unanswered points by the Blue Streaks. .126 left to go. We are in the 4th quarter of a 20-14 ball game. Now with a back in the backfield out of this pistol. Rolling to the left side, looking downfield, looking Now running back to the right, still between the hashes, finds Dameron, and he has the room to get past midfield and out of bounds at about the 46-yard line into Woodstock territory. Stops the clock, gets the first down, and the Rams are a little bit closer now. Now they're 46 yards away after the 14 yard reception by Isaiah Dameron. Dameron just kind of ran across the field. He started out split left and just ran over the top. Able to connect and get out of bounds. So now on the far hash with a minute 15 left, 1st and 10 for Mount Vernon Rams football. Dameron is now in the left slot this time. He's been the top receiver tonight for Nick Malone, as if they've done it before. 2-step drop in the pocket, now looking for Dameron again. He rolls right up the middle. The Rams do have one timeout left as he's inside the 30 to about the 25-yard line. I assume the clock will pause to move the chains. Everybody's on their feet. Ball is on the 27-yard line. So another big gain by the Rams. Right about 22-ish. What we have, we're going to go timeout here with a minute 5. Timeout. Looks like timeout taken by Woodstock. They're going to regroup. So they helped them out with a timeout here. Timeout sponsored by First Mid-Illinois Bank and Trust on the corner of 34th and Broadway in Mount Vernon. See Dwayne Gully for all of your home loan needs at First Mid.
Woodstock trying to take the crowd out of it. They're making a lot of noise. You can hear them in the background. Woodstock, their fans, there's about 35, between 35 and 45 fans over on their sidelines. They're just stunned here that the Mount Vernon Rams, starting this drive on their 3-yard line, have been able to go against this Woodstock defense, which in their own right in this game had a little bit of a rough start, but has really put up a wall here in the second half, and then all of a sudden now starting to give way a little bit, like maybe there's a deluge here on the other side for the orange and black here to be able to get into the end zone and have a nice little ride home tonight.
Minute 5 left to go. 27 yards to go. 1st and 10 from the Woodstock 27-yard line. The ball is near the far hash. 2 left, 2 right. Out of the pistol set. Malone, the quarterback. Dameron is on the left. Rutherford will be in motion. He'll go all the way to the right. And now high snap corralled by Malone. No problem. Has a man after him. He'll run to the right side. He can no longer throw. He's past the line of scrimmage. Steps out of bounds. 57.8 seconds left. I'm not sure if he gets first down yardage. Might be shy, but that's okay. It'll be 2nd and short. Less than a minute to go. Gain of maybe about 9 or so on the play. We'll see. No, they're going to do just past the 20 to about the 21, so gain of only about 6 will bring up 2nd and 4. Less than a minute to play in the ball game. Rams are down by a score. It's 20-14 Woodstock. The Rams led 14-zip after 1, just to give you a bit of perspective. 2 left, 2 right. Thrilling times for the Rams. Malone is the quarterback. The back is Scarborough, and that is where they go, up the middle with 1 timeout left, 54 seconds left. I don't think he got the first down. The clock is not frozen. It'll be 3rd and short, I would assume.
Just shy.
Just shy, so about a 3-yard gain. So the Rams, I'm assuming, take this timeout here, sponsored by First Mid-Illinois Bank and Trust. They offer banking conveniences. Add your First Mid Visa debit card to the mobile wallet on your smartphone to make fast, easy payments at the store. And they're going to go ahead and measure, so maybe not a timeout. Misunderstood the PA, and it is a first down, so that'll stop the clock temporarily, and it's 1st and 10 for the Rams. Right about the 19-yard line, or they haven't updated the ball on marker on the scoreboard, so it'll be beyond the 19. Unbelievable. We're in the Buffalo Wild Wings broadcast booth tonight, having a great time. Hoping the Rams will have a better time here, up trailing by 6 with 48 seconds left. 1st and 10 from the Woodstock 17. Looking to get into the end zone. Rolling to the left side after the snap. Malone has his man, and that'll be batted away. Good defensive coverage that time by number 80 for Woodstock. And, of course, number 80 is Andrew Adams. Start to say Adam Andrew, but Andrew Adams. 40.7 seconds left. The clock stops with the ball incomplete. Rams football on your radio is powered by Community First Bank of the Heartland, where local matters most. It isn't just where they work in the community, it is. It's where they live and raise their families just like you and I. Community First isn't just their name, it's what they believe. The Rams believe here. 40.7 seconds left. 2nd and 10 from the Woodstock 17. Trying to punch this one in and tie this ball game. They roll to the left side. Malone has time with 36 seconds. He'll roll left. He'll run left. He'll try to get out of bounds, and he is pushed out late. Should be a late hit, and there will be. There's a flag on the play. That was a late hit on the near sideline, right about the 15. And that should be a first down and push it half the distance, unless they pick it up. We'll see what they do. 33.4 seconds if you just tuned in the fourth quarter. Rams are threatening here. They led 14-zip. Gave up 20 unanswered runs. Pardon me. It's not baseball season, Hugo. Gave up 20 unanswered points and now trail by 6, but they are moving the football here. And now on a roughing the passer / late hit penalty, unsportsmanlike as it may be, it's going to be 1st and goal for the Rams, as that'll take it inside the 10 to about the 8 on a half the distance penalty. So the Rams are threatening here. This is the time to be excited if you're a Ram fan, because they might make it happen here. 1st and goal from inside the 10 at about the 8 with 33.4 seconds left. They'll go split wide to the right. 2 split to the left. Single bat set out of the pistol. Malone's going to have to roll right side, trying to dump one off. Has his man Scarborough, who's going to try to get inside to score. Hits the pylon as he shook past a man. They're going to rule it a touchdown.
He reached inside.
He reached inside as he was going out of bounds to touch the pylon with the ball, and that is an incredible move by Cade Scarborough. Scarborough was able to deke past his man, as that was just a little check-down dump-off pass by the quarterback, Nick Malone, and the Rams get their 2nd touchdown score of the night. And now, because they have a kicker, let's see if Mr. Fitzgerald can knock one home.
Pressure is on Fitzgerald, but he has been kicking relentlessly on the sideline since missing that field goal earlier. So he is ready for this moment. He's got ice water in his veins. Let's see if he can come up big. And once again, as I said, send Mount Vernon home with their first win since 2015.
And so they're going to try to ice this kicker, I can assure you. Timeout is presented by First Mid-Illinois Bank and Trust. Chad Baker, that was just a great play. Just a little dump off, a little check down pass, and there was Cade Scarborough wide open. He was able to corral it. First instinct was to run straight forward, then saw men there, saw some defense, decides to try to roll out to the sideline, at least get out of bounds, which was brilliant on his part. And in doing so, shakes a man and then lunges back forward toward the pylon in the far corner of the end zone and gets the score to tie it at 20.
You know, it's been nothing short of spectacular, Chris. Malone to Scarborough, 9-yard touchdown pass, and how the play broke up. Actually, the right side of the line really kind of broke through. They had a big defensive tackle breakthrough. I didn't catch his number, but he came barreling through, put pressure on Malone early. He rolled out just a bit, tossed it up over the defender. Thankfully, Scarborough was wide open. Well, there was a collision of about 3 or 4 guys on the other side of him. He just went to the outside, aimed for that pylon, and got it to go.
And now Fitzgerald's for the point after attempt to give the Rams the lead. Hold is down. The kick is going to be blocked. It is blocked, and we are tied at 20. What a block by Woodstock, and we are tied at 20 with 24 seconds left to go. No fault of the kicker.
You got to be able to hold that.
And now we are tied at 20.
He's frustrated. His coach is going to talk to him a little bit here and say, hey, look, not on you. We got a lot of tired guys out there that have been playing all evening. A few of them are on special teams, and now you just got to get out there and do what you can to send this into overtime. Make no mistakes on special teams here.
College rules apply at the high school level as far as overtime is concerned.
That was a 97-yard drive that was completed. 9-yard pass completion from Malone to Scarborough. The extra point was blocked.
I don't recall the last time the Rams went to overtime. I feel like the 2013 playoff game with Mattoon, they went for 2 to not go to overtime. Otherwise, if it wasn't then, it would have been in 2008 season opener against Belleville East. It was scoreless after the first set of overtime downs. And then it was just a simple case of I think the Rams went for 2 to win it and didn't come up with it. And Belleville East won in double overtime 7-6 in week 1 in 2008. But I don't believe the 2013 playoff game was OT. My memory fading somewhat. Needed football to kick off. Getting one out there. What a game. We are tied at 20 with 24 seconds left, and barring a huge play, a kickoff return, or something of that ilk, we're looking at the possibility of overtime here. So the Rams, with no scores in the second or third quarters, and all it was going to look like for a while there, maybe not ending in the fourth, get it with 24 seconds left to go. So an 8-yard touchdown passed the difference. PAT was no good. And we will have a whistle on the kick and a flag. False start. Gotta love that. Two touchdown passes tonight for the Ram quarterback, Nick Malone. One was to Isaiah Dameron. The other one, of course, was the tie to Cade Scarborough. So 24 seconds left to go in the fourth quarter. Tied at 20 here in Urbana. So Vernon Rams and Woodstock Blue Streaks here on WMIX Mount Vernon, a free service from Withers Broadcasting. As we await this kickoff. Here it comes. Fitzgerald's on the march, and that one will be on the ground. A little bit of a worm burner here. And now this is picked up by Woodstock. A little lunge forward, and they may have fumbled it. They will say down, and it'll be first down for Woodstock at their own 41-yard line with 20.4 seconds left.
And we got an injury. Looks like the returner, Gardner, who's had a big night, slow to get up, holding his left knee. He's going to limp off the field.
Tied at 20 with 20.4 seconds left to go. The Rams would love to be 1-1 and at 500 heading into the opening of their new stadium, Ken Hunt Field, on Friday against the Triad Knights. But first, the Blue Streaks, the Flashes stand in the way. They'll go out of the shotgun here with 20 seconds left to go. Back into the game is the original quarterback. Heidke is going up the left side, rushing, trying to get to the sideline, and he will get out with 13.5 seconds left. Got a gain of about 4 or 5 on a quarterback sweep left. And now with 13.5 seconds left, it is worth noting that they have both of their timeouts. He doesn't even get that many. He gets about 2.
He may feel cheated after that.
I would. I thought he got at least 5. Again, we are far, far from the sideline across the field. 13.5 seconds left. 20-20. The vision is perfect, but the end result's still a little blurry. 2nd and 8 now for the Blue Streaks. Man in motion. Heidke back into the game. Of course, quarterback out of the shotgun. Single back. Rolling to the right side. Just a little check down. Dumps it off to... That is to Doyle over the middle. With 5 seconds left, they'll burn a timeout here. A timeout presented by First Mid-Illinois Bank and Trust. They have one remaining with 5.6 seconds left. We are tied at 20. Rams almost had a point after, but it was blocked. And so now, with this timeout, they'll talk things over. It'll be 3rd and 4. Again, 5.6 seconds left to go in regulation. And on a lengthy road trip, why not overtime? If it gets you the win, who cares? Chris Hugo, Chad Baker alongside Hunter Schrader with us here in Urbana. Avery Barton, Grant Smith back at our Mount Vernon studios tonight. Looking at overtime, barring a big play here from Woodstock. 3rd and 4 from their own 48 on the far hash. Deep to pass, empty backfield. Heidke being chased. Time is going to expire. He'll get the throw off. It will be somebody free for all. The Rams will bat it down, intercept it. Who cares? We are headed to overtime. So that's the end of regulation, as they say. And we have a tie ball game, Chad Baker.
The Woodstock fans are thrilled. They're like, hey, you know what? At this point in time, we're going to lock down in Urbana for the evening. But everybody else, particularly on the Mount Vernon side, even though they had the block kick, everybody over here still has that feeling of electricity, like this night could still have some magic packed left in it. And obviously overtime, that definitely allows for the offense to thrive. We have seen it before in many overtime games. As you mentioned, both at the high school and the college level, we could see a lot of teams really make some things happen out there that maybe you don't see during the regular part of the game. But it's going to be a battle for the defenses here. They really have been challenged all evening long, and they're to the point where they are both tired. So it's going to be whoever breaks down first and whoever makes that first mistake.
And what a game it has been. The mistakes have been costly for both of the two teams here tonight. We are at the end of regulation, headed to overtime. And this is not like the NFL overtime. This is more like collegiate overtime. So everybody will get a chance here.
Once again, something that's glaring and something that really helped Mount Vernon get back into the game was not necessarily a penalty of their own, but a penalty of Woodstock. Woodstock had 4 penalties for 28 yards this evening, but it was that last one, that personal foul penalty, that late hit. But Mount Vernon, 12 penalties, 102 yards that you're not going to get back. And now, obviously, we talked a little bit about that in pregame. You know, you want to clean that up as the season goes on. Right now, you know, it's kind of expected. You see that, but all things considered, Woodstock's played a pretty clean game this evening as far as penalties go. Their coach has got to be happy at least about that aspect. Coin flipped in the air.
Tied at 20 here at the end of regulation as we head to overtime. As we need a football. This looks like the Rams have won the coin toss, and they will move right to left. All right. Here's the scenario. Just making sure I'm correct and that the rules haven't changed. Should be 1st and goal, I believe. You know how long it's been?
I want to say it's...
Or they do the 20 at high school.
Yeah,
because it's 25 at college.
20 in high school. You have obviously an opportunity to make a first down. And then I want to say, if I remember correctly, because it's been a few seasons since my last overtime game, I want to say that if you're allowed to do the kick an extra point, but then I think once each team's kicked 1 extra point, I think you have to go for 2, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. It's been a little while since I've updated myself on the IHSA rule books.
It will be 1st and goal from the 10.
But it seems like there's something in there. 10-yard line. All right.
So tied at 20, the Rams will have the football first.
Obviously, you want to be the first team to score. Pressure's still always on the first team, because you have to get it.
Tied at 20, the Rams will have a single back set, 2 on each side as far as the wide receivers. Malone is going to roll to the near side looking to pass. Another dump off. It'll be to Scarborough. He's going to try to rush into the far side. He does. He gets into the end zone. It's 26-20. Scarborough again.
That puts Malone up over 200 yards passing this evening.
Gosh. Wow. And it is 26-20 Rams here in overtime.
All right. Let's make a clean snap and a clean kick here.
I don't know what Scarborough's middle initial is, but right now he has 2, and it's OT.
That's his second touchdown of the evening.
See if the Rams, they're going to go for 2 to try to make it 28. And on a sweep to the right side, no, quarterback keeper, and Malone gets in.
Malone's
it's 28-20. And the Rams take a 28-20 lead in overtime. That's a big QB keeper.
Huge. Malone to Scarborough on one play. 10-yard touchdown pass. Along with the 2-point conversion. Back on top. Now your defense has to hold them. Pressure's on. They have to get a touchdown, get a 2-point conversion to keep this game going.
So let's see what the Blue Streaks do. Aiden Jacobs is one of the running backs in for Trevor Heidke. The other one is Doyle, and we have a timeout, Mount Vernon. All of the action all year long. Proud to be here with you on the radio, WMIX and WMIXsports.com. This timeout sponsored by First Mid-Illinois Bank and Trust on the corner of 34th and Broadway in Mount Vernon. Don't forget to talk to Dwayne Gully the next time you need a home loan. Right there in the King City, 28-20 Rams. We are in overtime. And now it is up to the Woodstock Blue Streaks to try to score here. They have to get the touchdown plus 2. They have 4 downs from the 10-yard line to try to get it done. It is first and goal by default from the 10 in overtime at the high school level here in Illinois. And now the Blue Streaks march back from their timeout huddle. The Rams are ready to defend. They will split off. Dylan Grisolia to the left side. They have a man split to the right. Now in motion. It'll be a wingback set here. This will be a carry by Jacobs up the middle. The Rams defense will stop him. He might have gotten inside the 10 for a slight gain. So now it'll be second and goal for the Blue Streaks. 3 touchdown passes tonight for Nick Malone. He's over 200 yards. If you go by Yahoo fantasy rules, default, he's worth at least 22 through the air and another 10 or more on the ground. So a 32-point at least effort fantasy rules by Nick Malone tonight. Enough about that. On the far hash, second and goal. Rolling back to pass, Heidke into the far corner of the end zone, and it looks like they got it. They got it in the far corner. A 9-yard touchdown completion. I did not see the receiver, so it was Adams.
That
was an 8-yard score. And we have a 28-26 game. So now the Rams will have to stop the 2-point conversion. Chris Hugo, Chad Baker on WMIX. All of the action is powered by Community First Bank of the Heartland. We're in overtime. The Mount Vernon Rams 28, the Woodstock Blue Streaks 26. It is all up to this play. If Woodstock gets into the end zone on the 2-point conversion, we have overtime number 2. If they do not, the Mount Vernon Rams have their first win since 2015. Out of the shotgun now for the quarterback Heidke. Here comes the run of the left side. He's going to try to break into the far corner of the end zone. He will sneak in, and we are tied at 28. We are tied at 28.
And it keeps going. Unbelievable.
So now overtime at number 2.
So 2-play drive that time. 10 yards, 9-yard touchdown pass from Heidke to Adams. And then you have Jacobs, a 2-point conversion there.
So now double overtime is where we go. All the action is sponsored by Community First Bank of the Heartland. Local matters, and Community First isn't just their name, it's what they believe. So now we do it all over again. Literally all over again. Everybody's exhausted, and we head to a second overtime tied at 28. And so now it'll be Woodstock's turn to go first as they won that coin toss. First and goal from the 10-yard line. 28-28 tie here in Urbana. We're in the Buffalo Wild Wings broadcast booth. The Woodstock Blue Streaks moving right to left. First and goal from the 10. Heidke, the quarterback, will be under center with a couple of backs in the backfield. Jacobs and Doyle, and trying to get the Rams offside, and they do. They get him to jump. It'll be first and goal from the 5. And another costly penalty for the Mount Vernon Rams. Into this 10 o'clock hour on AM 940 and 96.5 FM worldwide with streaming video at WMIXsports.com. Tony Wilt sponsors our scoreboards. We already have one brewing for you on WMIXsports.com, of course. Look for Tony Wilt around town in that white State Farm Jeep, or go to his office on the corner of 42nd and South Water Tower in Mount Vernon. Right here. Here comes a quarterback keeper by Heidke, but there was a false start there. Yep, it'll go back to first and goal from the 10. Might have even been on the quarterback himself. So I think he was moving forward before the ball was even snapped. It was almost like the center handed off. So now that erases the Ram penalty, if you will. Not officially. It's still on the books, but now it negates it, I guess would be a better term. First and goal from the 10. Heidke out from under center here with a back behind. And now he's going to roll to this left side looking to pass, and that one almost a one-handed grab. It'll fall incomplete. The intended target would have had it about the 2. And I think that was number 20, David Shiner. Either way, second and 10, or second goal from the 10. 28-28 ball game. The Mount Vernon Rams and Woodstock Blue Streaks are all tied up. We're in overtime number 2. I think all of us would like to see this one end after this overtime. Only half of us would like to see it end one way or the other. Now they're trying to chase down Heidke. He is rolling, and he's going to break through and might get in as he sneaks through that far corner through a few Rams and gets the score to make it 34-28 Woodstock. And so now they will have a crucial point after attempt coming.
So another 10-yard run. Got an injured Ram on the play.
So 34-28 Blue Streaks. We are untimed in overtime. We're in double OT. It's a 34-28 ball game with the point after pending.
And believe it or not, through all those penalties, that was still only a one-play 10-yard drive.
Yep.
Can't tell who it is, but the trainer's attending to him over on the far sideline. Once again, cramps have been a big story tonight for both teams. It seemed like there was a lot of players come off the field, go off for a little while, get cramps worked out, come back in. Among them has been the quarterback and a few of the running backs for Woodstock. This does not look like it may be a cramp situation unless if it's in the foot area. Some hobbling.
So Craig will come off the field for the Rams in a 34-28 game. We are in double overtime, and this one has lived up to the hype.
Training crew been busy tonight. Saturday's typically not a busy day for them.
Heidke, the quarterback, scored the touchdown to make it 34-28. Now they'll go for two to try to make it 36 and force the Rams' hand. It's going to be to Jacobs, and he is fighting the defenders and will knock it in. 34-28. Now the Rams have to score at the very least. Not to be Captain Obvious. An unbelievable ball game here.
I'd say everybody got their money's worth tonight.
Oh, without a doubt. As the Rams now trail 34-28 in double OT. And now they have to go for it. And now from under center, Malone trying to make a play. He'll drop one off, and that one will fall incomplete at the shoot tops.
Intended for Scarborough.
So the Rams will have second and goal now. Untimed in double overtime, trailing 34-28. Nick Malone and the Mount Vernon Rams trying to get this tying score. It'll be a handoff, a little sweep to the left side for Brody Rutherford. He breaks the 10, trying to get inside, stays on his feet, but he's down to the 8. It'll be third and goal.
First carry for Rutherford tonight. He's already had a reception on the evening.
And so now it'll be third and goal for the Rams from the 8-yard line. 34-28, we are in double overtime. Rams will be out of the pistol set. Nick Malone, the quarterback. 2 to the right, 2 to the left. Double overtime, third and goal from the 8. Malone, a couple of steps back on the drop. He has a little bit of a seam. Now he has to rush back. He's beyond the 10. Rolling to the right side, trying to find an open man. Dumps it off, far corner. Nobody there. So now it all comes down to fourth and goal. Final play more than likely. Well, if the Rams don't get in, the game's over. If the Rams get in, they tie it at 34. 34-28, double overtime against the Woodstock Blue Streaks here in Urbana. All of the action on WMIX, powered by Community First Bank of the Heartland. It's 34-28, double OT. Nick Malone and the Mount Vernon Rams trying to get it in. Scarborough, the back out of the pistol, 2 to the right. That's Rutherford and Dameron to the left. And now rolling right on fourth down. There's a far corner of the end zone wide open, but the defender is going to get there first, and this game is over. The Mount Vernon Rams fall in double overtime, 34-28 to Woodstock. And that is going to be your final score. We'll come back with your Schmidt Chevrolet Cadillac postgame show. This is Rams football powered by Community First Bank.
All right, listen. We didn't invent lunch. No. We're not really in that line of business. But we did make lunch better because we are in that line of business. We made up a thing called the B-Dubs Fast Break Lunch. It's a collection of your favorite B-Dubs food. And as we all know, a lunch with your favorite food is a better lunch. It sounds simple, but it's taken ages for mankind to arrive at this solution. Sorry we weren't involved in this lunch situation sooner. Buffalo Wild Wings. Wings, beer, sports.
According to FoxBusiness.com, automobile insurance providers estimate that on average, a person will experience 3 to 4 auto collisions in a lifetime. So the big question is, how do you know where to bring your vehicle after you've been in an accident? This is Chase Landers from Landers Towing and Collision Centers in Mount Vernon and Salem. It's easy for me to say that Landers is where you should always consider anytime you suffer damage to your vehicle. And here's why. Not only do we offer limited lifetime warranty on all repairs and refinishes, but we also complete the repairs using the highest quality refinish products the market has to offer. Landers is also a direct repair facility for most insurance carriers, and in many cases provide a courtesy vehicle or easier access to a rental. We understand what it's like to be in a bind. If unfortunate circumstances fall upon you, we offer prompt RV collision repair services, towing, and heavy-duty towing and collision as well. That's why we feel comfortable saying we're the best. So come see the professionals in Mount Vernon and Salem, or feel free to look us up at landersauto.com. Big or small, Landers fixes them all. Call 1-888-LANDERS. That's 1-888-LANDERS.
Get active on campus again with the Red Lake College Foundation Alumni Association. Visit rlc.edu/alumni to register and to get started today. Learn news about the college through a newsletter and get access to upcoming events at RLC by joining this growing organization. We want you to become the newest member of the RLC Foundation Alumni Association. Just visit rlc.edu/alumni. With Red Lake College, student journeys start here.
As part of our 10 years of Community First celebration, we're proud to bring you Community Love, a unique local fundraising program supporting local causes. Hi, this is Karen Pelker of Community First Bank. Unlike national or even regional initiatives, Community Love supports local programs with local dollars. As good stewards, Community First Bank will even be matching your donation. So we invite you to show your community love by supporting those in need. Look for pledge forms at businesses around Jefferson County and all of our 5 banking locations and donate today. Community First Bank, local matters. Member FDIC.
This is Mount Vernon Rams football from WMIX Sports. The Schmidt Chevrolet Cadillac postgame show starts now.
WMIX, WMIXsports.com, and what a classic it was here from Urbana. Took 2 overtimes for the Woodstock Blue Streaks to beat your Mount Vernon Rams 34-28. The Rams certainly had chances tonight. They led 14-0 after 1, and then it was a tie ball game after 3, 14 all. Rams trailed 20-14 at one point in the 4th. There was about 24 seconds left. They got the tying score. The PAT was blocked because there was one time that the Rams had a great-looking PAT, went for 2 a second time, I believe, and a case where we had to OT with a 20-all ball game. Then in OT, the Rams score. They get the 2-point conversion, but then come right back and doing the same thing, the Woodstock Blue Streaks. They tied at 28 then. We go to double overtime, and the Blue Streaks get the ball first. They score, and then the Rams on 4th down. Nick Malone had a far corner open in the end zone. He saw it, we saw it, but then quick to close defensively was the linebacker for Woodstock, and that ended up being the end of the game. Malone was tackled inbounds and inside the 5 and did not get across the goal line to tie the ball game. What a game it was. We're proud to have been here with you on WMIX and WMIXsports.com. This is your Schmidt Chevrolet Cadillac postgame show. I'm Chris Hugo. Chad Baker is alongside. SchmidtChevrolet.com, SchmidtCadillac.com. 2 great places on the web to find your next new or pre-owned automobile. Or find them for yourself. Go see in person at 3423 Broadway in Mount Vernon. We'll take a break. We'll come back. We'll have plenty more to discuss in this instant classic. The Mount Vernon Rams and Woodstock Blue Streaks. 34-28 final. Woodstock the winner. They're 2-0 now on the year. The Rams dropped to 0-2, and it took double overtime for it to happen. We'll take a break, come back. This is Rams football powered by Community First Bank.
When it comes to orthopedics, you want personal care that gets you back in action. And now you have a center of excellence close to home. Orthopedic Center of Southern Illinois offers convenient access to leading-edge orthopedics, providing the latest in surgical and non-invasive care, as well as the most advanced imaging services for orthopedic conditions of all kinds. We also specialize in providing total joint replacement, spine surgery, sports medicine, and offer an on-site physical rehabilitation center. Get back in action with Orthopedic Center of Southern Illinois. Visit online at orthocenter-si.com or call 242-3778.
Hi, this is Steve Down, Vice President and Ag Lender at Community First Bank. For well over a decade, we've been the official home of true community banking in and around Jefferson County. It's more than just raising the bar on the best customer service around or simply supplying traditional banking services, lending solutions, and supporting our local charities and organizations. We take the most pride in calling ourselves good neighbors. Above all, that's what matters most. Community first. It's not just our name, it's our belief. Community First Bank, local matters, member FDIC.
Streaming worldwide at WMIXSports.com. This is Mount Vernon Rams football from WMIX Sports.
AM 940, 96.5 FM, and WMIXSports.com. Your Schmidt-Chevrolet Cadillac postgame show continues. I'm Chris Hugo, Chad Baker alongside. 34-28 your final as the Woodstock Blue Streaks knock off your Mount Vernon Rams in double overtime. And not depressing, I don't mean it like that by any means, but it's disappointing would be a better word, as this may be in double overtime. I think the stats will really show that the Rams played very, very, very well tonight.
You hung it all out to dry, Chris. I mean, this is a team that's on the cusp of really ending this streak. I think that, you play this game 10 times. I'd say 8 times it goes Mount Vernon's favor, just because of just what we saw here unfold tonight. There were some times I think Mount Vernon beat themselves. I mean, there was a couple of lapses in concentration out there. The one thing that we're going to take away from here, and we're going to lead it off here as we look at stats, is the penalties. 13 penalties, 107 yards for Mount Vernon. A lot of that on defense. 5 penalties for only 33 yards for Woodstock. They didn't simply make as many mistakes as what Mount Vernon did. And Mount Vernon was getting away with some of those mistakes early on. As the game goes on, though, it just becomes too many, and it simply eats you up. And obviously, there's some areas on this team that are still very young. We mentioned the good play of the freshmen early on, the tandem of Williams and Leak. That's something that you're going to be able to build on this season. And obviously, great leadership showing, great poise in the pocket from Nick Malone at quarterback. He's going to do some good things this season. And of course, he's still got another full season left. But I think there's some good things here that this team's going to build on. I think you get a short week of practice coming ahead. You go into what's going to be a very emotional evening for a lot of folks going into the new digs down in Mount Vernon. Obviously, Coach Goodhart coming off of 2 games here at the early part of the season. You mentioned last week, not the result you wanted. It kind of got away from you, but you played better than I think you had played in a long time. And then this week, to go toe-to-toe with a team that you had at the end. Got to be a heartbreaker. It's going to be a little bit of a rough ride home. You got a short week of practice, but then you have an emotional game coming up just in 6 days. And it's going to be interesting to see, hear how this team responds, because you could tell that there's a lot of character guys on this team, and I think whenever you have a lot of character guys on this team, a lot of guys that show that leadership role out there, and we've seen that tonight here. Not a whole lot of guys shouting at each other. A lot of guys doing the pick me up thing. Keeping the kicker's spirits up whenever he missed the kick. I think that's going to end up being a bigger thing in the tail of the 2017 Rams than simply losing a neutral site game in week 2, because I think this game is going to show that this may be a turning point for this Rams program altogether. Well, we just saw so much brilliance tonight. I know we saw some big plays given up, and it probably shouldn't have been a tie game, and you can say this, you can say that, but man, when you look at Nick Malone, obviously he's going to get a lot of the pub. Threw for over 200 yards, ran for over 100, as we'll find out, but a case of where dominant performance. We saw great things out of Dameron. Evan Leak showed us some things again defensively tonight. All of the Rams showed us something at one point or another, and the offensive line opened up holes for Nick Malone to be able to run. And while we didn't always get to name them by name every single time, I don't think that doesn't go unnoticed on these broadcasts and on the Saturday Sports Show and things of that ilk. And another thing, you got to get healthy this week. I mean, it's just a simple fact. It was a little bit strange circumstances tonight. Obviously, you had the big week this week and a little bit longer week. You had the travel. I mean, you did what you could to be able to get out and stretch it. And in the end, obviously, with the way this game played out here this evening, obviously there was a lot of players from Woodstock early on getting cramps, and as the game went on, the guys from Mount Vernon started getting some cramps, and there were some nicks and scrapes and some bruises out there, and so obviously you want to be able to get healthy with that. Take a look quickly at the stats here on the Mount Vernon side here this evening, and we'll do we'll start off here first of all with the at the half we were at a 14-5 6 advantage for Mount Vernon. Woodstock came out in the third quarter of play. 2:38 left in the quarter. Doyle scored on a 23-yard touchdown run. Jacobs' 2-point conversion tied it up. Made for very interesting things in the fourth period. You had at the 7:38 mark Anderson Jr. in relief of Heike, because Heike had, once again, one of those guys that went out with the injuries. Anderson Jr. spelling him, 2-yard touchdown run, capping off a 70-yard drive. The extra point was blocked. It was 20-14 at that point. 24 seconds left in regulation. Malone to Scarborough for Mount Vernon, capping off a 97-yard drive. It was a 9-yard touchdown pass, and the extra point was blocked. Sent in an overtime 20 all. The first overtime period, first possession went to Mount Vernon. Malone to Scarborough, 10-yard touchdown pass. Malone with the 2-point conversion made it 28-20. Woodstock would respond in that first overtime period. It was Heike to Adams on a 9-yard touchdown pass. Jacobs' 2-point conversion tied it at 28. Second overtime, Heike with the 10-yard touchdown run. 2-point conversion was stopped, made it 34-28. And that's where it ended, as on that fourth down play, it was a quarterback keeper on the outside, and Malone just simply did not have the hole that looked like was going to open up for him there. It closed very quickly as some of the interior guys looked like maybe some of the linebacking core came in there and took Malone out. Not enough blockers on that one side. And he was down at the 4, and that's where we end 34-28. Good night offensively for Mount Vernon, led, of course, in passing by Nick Malone. 15 for 35 through the air, 216 yards, had 3 touchdowns. However, he did also have 3 interceptions and had a tough spell there in the second half where he had 5 incompletions in a row. And then before really having a good throw in there to get 25 yards and get the team downfield again. Rushing. Nick Malone led the team in rushing this evening, 133 yards, 17 carries. He had a touchdown on the ground. Rudd added 11 carries for 59 yards. You had 6 carries for Scarborough with 8 yards in production this evening. Maxwell had a pair of carries for 3 yards. A carry for Rutherford for 2 yards, and Sursa had a carry for -2. Overall, 38 carries, 203 yards, and a touchdown rushing for Mount Vernon. On the receiving end, they were led by Dameron, 150 yards through the air, 5 receptions for a touchdown. Scarborough added 2 touchdowns, 6 receptions, 42 yards. You had a reception by Rutherford for 15. Maxwell had 2 receptions for 7. Rudd had a reception for 2 yards. Overall, 419 yards in passing and rushing offense this evening for Mount Vernon. Woodstock had a big second half, and that really helped them out. They found some leaks in the Mount Vernon defense. Overall, we take a look at their stats. Heike, 8 for 16, a touchdown, an interception, 83 yards through the air overall. It was really on the ground. They started really grinding on that front 7 of the Mount Vernon Rams here in the second half. You had, let's see here, 80 yards for Doyle, 11 carries and a touchdown. 4 carries, 70 yards and a touchdown for Gardner. 10 carries, 62 yards and a touchdown for Heike. And let's see here, 12 carries, 9 yards for Jacobs. A carry for -2 for Shinher, and a carry for 2 yards and a touchdown for Anderson Jr. Overall, 251 yards on the ground, 39 carries and 4 touchdowns for Woodstock's rushing. Through the air, 4 receptions, 54 yards for Shinher, 2 receptions, 15 yards for Grisolia, a reception for Doyle for 5 yards, a reception for Adams for 9 yards, and a touchdown. Only 334 total passing and rushing yards for Woodstock. So obviously the Rams got about 100 more yards overall offense. But once again, we take a look at those penalties, Chris, and they were just too much in the end. And, it was where those turnovers took place. The 3 interceptions for Malone right around midfield. It allowed a lot better field position for Woodstock here in the second half whenever that happened. And, of course, Woodstock did what they could to place Mount Vernon deep. That punt was very key. Even though Mount Vernon was able to march 97 yards downfield, it did take enough time off the clock and take enough wind out of the sails of that team.
No doubt. We have one more segment coming up here on the Schmidt-Chevrolet Cadillac postgame. 3 stars of the game. And final thoughts are next. 34-28, the Mount Vernon Rams fall tonight to Woodstock. But man, what a showing by your Mount Vernon Rams. We'll take a break and come back. This is Rams football from WMIX Sports.
All right, listen. We didn't invent lunch. No, we're not really in that line of business. But we did make lunch better because we are in that line of business. We made up a thing called the B-Dubs Fast Break Lunch. It's a collection of your favorite B-Dubs food. And as we all know, a lunch with your favorite food is a better lunch. It sounds simple, but it's taken ages for mankind to arrive at this solution. Sorry we weren't involved in this lunch situation sooner. Buffalo Wild Wings. Wings, beer, sports.
Learn about dozens of colleges and universities at the Illinois Regional College Fair hosted by Red Lake College on Tuesday, September 19th from 9 until 11. It's free to students and parents. Visit the RLC Gymnasium to ask questions of more than 30 regional schools. Learn about financial aid, scholarships, transferring, how to pick a major, and much more. Take the next step at the Illinois Regional College Fair on Tuesday, September 19th from 9 to 11 at Red Lake College. Red Lake College, your journey starts here.
This is Mount Vernon Rams football from WMIX Sports. The 3 stars of the game are next.
One final time here from Urbana. The Woodstock Blue Streaks 34, the Mount Vernon Rams 28 in double overtime. We welcome you back to your Schmidt-Chevrolet Cadillac postgame show. We owe you 3 stars of the game, and I have a feeling that one of our contenders will go on to be our Good Hands Ram of the Week, sponsored by Allstate agent Paul Shields. Don't forget, Rams football on your radio is powered by Community First Bank of the Heartland. We are here in your Buffalo Wild Wings broadcast booth, and we have 3 stars of the game. Chad, I think it was pretty clear who our 3 stars were going to be, obviously, with the number 3 man being Isaiah Dameron. He got the scoring started with a 79-yard touchdown reception in the first quarter. We had back-to-back scores from Cade Scarborough late in the fourth to tie it, an 8-yard touchdown catch, a 10-yard touchdown catch in overtime to give the Rams the lead at that point. And I just don't see how we can go anywhere else, number 1, than Nick Malone, who had over 200 yards through the air, multiple touchdowns, and had over 100 yards on the ground. I mean, that's leading a team.
Yeah, you had a lot of guys that really stepped up tonight. Obviously, you all had the 3 stars, but there are right now the offense is centered around Nick, and he did a good job tonight. Showed a lot of poise in the pocket, and was able to limit the amount of mistakes. Obviously, he had the 3 interceptions. Trying to make some things happen. There's on a couple of plays there were some receivers that had some missed patterns. Was able to kind of reel his team back in and against a Woodstock Marion team that we said at the beginning. Now the recent history has been very similar, but this was a team that still had a good season last year. They were 4-5 last year. 6 of the teams that they've played on their schedule last year were playoff teams. They had a good game last week. They came in here. They were ready for us. I think that this is just kind of one of those games that you look at. This is going to be turning the Mount Vernon program around, and I think that's really what we saw here tonight. Even though they're not going home with the W, I feel that it's just round the corner.
You just got to have that confidence, and a game like tonight will finally give you some confidence. And while no, you don't have the ultimate confidence of a W, you have the confidence that, man, you were on the brink, you're on the precipice, and I think that'll be huge going into a home game.
Most definitely, yeah, definitely, and I think there's a lot of good things. Once again, you want to get your guys healthy again, and you hate to be a coach that you see what you saw here in the fourth quarter and overtime where. You have some guys that are coming out of the game. You're seeing a lot of lower body injuries. And obviously it takes a while for that hydration to be able to get down into the body a little bit. You got guys coming up lane with some cramps. Maybe some twisted ankles and whatnot. But you just hope that the guys can get healthy this week. Maybe take a little bit of a load off. You got Labor Day coming up on Monday, so they don't have to go to school. You can just kind of take it easy this weekend. And, of course, that's going to be very helpful with the short week ahead.
No doubt. Chad, appreciate you joining me up here.
You know what? I love this. Anytime you want to come back, I know that I spent 4 years down in Mount Vernon, my old backyard, now my new backyard, me being up here. Anytime you want to come back up here, let's do this again. It's been fun.
It has, and it always will be. I appreciate it as always.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Let's see. 34-28 final score in double overtime. Woodstock beats the Mount Vernon Rams. Man, I'm here to tell you, if you're not watching this Ram team, you need to be. They are improving week to week, and we'll check them out on Friday night against Triad. The Knights come to town, 7 o'clock kickoff, 6:30 pregame. Join us then right here, AM 940, 96.5 FM, and WMIXsports.com. For Hunter Schrader, for Chad Baker, for Grant Smith, for Avery Barton, for all of us at WMIX Sports, thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Chris Hugo. One more time on that final score in double overtime. Woodstock 34, Mount Vernon 28. Look for a scoreboard tonight, already there, WMIXsports.com, and we archive every broadcast. So long from Urbana.